Imagine walking into every room with confidence. Imagine speaking your mind without fear, setting boundaries without guilt, and carrying yourself in a way that makes people before ever disrespecting you again. But tell me the truth. How many times have you stayed silent just to avoid conflict? How many times have you let things slide, laughed off the insult, or swallowed your pride just to keep the peace? Think twice. The way you carry yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you move through the world with strength, self-respect, and clear standards, people will feel it. But if you let others cross the line, if you avoid standing your ground, you're giving them permission to treat you like you don't matter. Today, you're going to learn 25 powerful life lessons that will help you command respect without ever raising your voice. These aren't just ideas, they are real tools, mental, emotional, and practical habits that will change how people see you and how you see yourself. So get ready, because after this video, you won't just feel stronger, you'll be stronger. You won't just hope for respect, you'll earn it. Before we begin, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Write in the comments, "I know my worth." You're not just writing a sentence, you're reminding yourself of a truth that too many people forget. The more you say it, the more it becomes real. The more you believe it, the more the world will reflect it back to you. So write it down now, and let's begin. Number 1. Cultivate useful silence. Speak less. Say more with your silence. You weren't born to explain yourself to everyone. You weren't born to chase validation or fill every moment with words. Your silence is not emptiness. It's a sign of strength, self-respect, and control. Every time you speak, you give away a part of yourself, your emotions, your intentions, your weakness, your plan. And when you speak too much, when you speak too soon, you lose power without even knowing it. But when you are silent, truly silent, you stay unpredictable. You stay grounded. You stay in control. Look around you. The loudest people are usually the most insecure. They argue, they boast, they interrupt, they talk just to be seen. But the ones who stay calm, the ones who don't speak unless necessary, they carry a different kind of power. Their presence says more than their words ever could. Marcus Aurelius knew this. He ruled an empire and still understood the importance of holding his tongue. He once wrote, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." That includes words. Because once your words are out, they no longer belong to you. They can be twisted, used, or thrown back at you. That's why useful silence matters. It's not about being quiet all the time. It's about choosing when to speak and why. It's about learning to pause before you answer, learning to observe before you react, learning to think before you respond. The next time someone disrespects you, don't jump to defend your pride. Don't match their energy. Don't let them pull you into their storm. Just pause. Let your silence speak for you. Let your calmness confuse them. Let them wonder what you're thinking, because in that moment, you have the power. And don't confuse silence with weakness. Weak people react. Strong people reflect. Silence gives you space to observe. It helps you read people. It helps you see through lies, flattery, manipulation, and games. While others talk themselves into trouble, your silence keeps you free. Practice this in conversations. You don't have to share your every thought. You don't have to respond to every question. Let people earn your words. Let them feel the weight of your voice when you finally speak. Be slow to anger, slow to react, slow to explain yourself. You don't owe everyone a reaction. You don't owe everyone access to your mind. Protect your peace by protecting your silence. And when you're alone, use that silence to build yourself. That quiet time is when your real strength grows. Sit in stillness. Reflect on your day. Think about what matters. Train your thoughts. Sharpen your mind. That's how warriors prepare for battle, not by shouting, but by listening to the silence within. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to fight every battle. Sometimes your silence is the loudest response. Sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful move you can make. So when others get loud, stay silent. When the world gets noisy, step back, listen, watch, learn. And when the time comes to speak, speak with purpose, not impulse. Speak with wisdom, not emotion. Remember this, useful silence is not the absence of strength. It is strength. It's discipline, it's control, it's self-respect, and the more you master it, the more powerful you become. So from now on, don't rush to speak, don't rush to prove. Let your silence do the heavy lifting. Let it remind people that your presence is enough. Because when you speak less, they listen more. And when you listen more, you win. Number 2, learn the art of withdrawing. Walk away, not out of fear, not out of weakness, but out of strength, clarity, and self-respect. You were not created to stay where you are not valued. You were not made to argue endlessly, to explain yourself to people who don't listen, or to fight for space in places that drain your spirit. You must learn the art of withdrawing. It's not about quitting. It's not about giving up. It's about knowing when your energy is being wasted and refusing to give it away. There are people who will try to pull you into chaos. They want your reaction. They feed off your emotions. But you don't owe them that. You don't need to stay in the room just to prove a point. You don't need to keep talking just to feel heard. The stronger move is often the quiet one. The move they didn't see coming, your absence. Withdrawing is a skill, one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It is the ability to remove yourself without warning, without drama, without revenge. Just silence, just distance, just gone. The person who knows when to leave is the person who understands their value. They don't stay where they are disrespected. They don't chase attention, beg for love, or argue for understanding. They let go, and in doing so, they rise. You must remember, not every battle is yours to fight. Not every insult needs a comeback. Not every disagreement needs to be solved. If you find yourself in a situation that brings more confusion than clarity, more pain than peace, it's time to step back. Distance gives you perspective. When you're inside the storm, everything feels personal. Everything feels urgent. But when you withdraw, when you give yourself space, you begin to see things clearly. You see who respects your silence. You see who notices your absence. You see who only wanted you close when it was convenient for them. Withdrawing doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care about yourself enough to walk away from what isn't serving you. You don't yell. You don't explain. You don't need to, because you know what you bring, and you're not afraid to take it with you. People will test your patience. They will try to get under your skin. They will try to pull you into arguments that go nowhere. But if you take the bait, you lose your peace. If you stay, you lose your power. So don't. Stay calm, stay still, and then, when it's time, walk away. Let them feel your absence. Let them wonder. Let them talk. You don't owe them a response. Your silence is your message. Your distance is your statement. Use withdrawal not just in conflict, but in everyday life. Step back from things that distract you. Pull away from conversations that drain you. Unplug from noise. Protect your space, your focus, your energy. Don't give it away to everything and everyone. Even Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, practiced the art of detachment. In the middle of politics, war, and pressure, he reminded himself to return to stillness, to retreat into his own mind, to withdraw from the noise of the world so he could return stronger. You are no different. You are not meant to be everywhere, for everyone, all the time. Know when to engage, know when to observe, and know when to walk away without a single word. Withdrawal is not weakness. It is power under control. It is the quiet confidence of someone who does not fear being alone. Someone who knows they don't need to be loud to be strong. Someone who knows when to let go. So next time you feel the need to argue, to defend, to stay longer than you should, remember this. The strongest one in the room is not always the one speaking. Sometimes it's the one who already left. Number 3. Your appearance is a statement of self-discipline. Look in the mirror, not out of vanity, but out of responsibility. The way you present yourself tells the world how seriously you take yourself. You don't need expensive clothes or a perfect body. What you need is effort, cleanliness, order, purpose. Because your appearance is not just about looks, it's a reflection of your discipline. Every day, people are making silent judgments. Before you speak, before you act, they look, they notice. Whether you like it or not, the way you carry yourself speaks. So ask yourself, what is it saying? When you walk out the door with messy clothes, poor posture, unkempt hair, or tired eyes, you're sending a message. You're saying, I don't care. And if you don't care, why should anyone else? But when you take the time to clean up, to dress well, to hold your shoulders back and walk with purpose, you don't need to say a word. You show that you have standards. You show that you respect yourself. And people feel it. Marcus Aurelius didn't write about fashion, but he wrote about order, about discipline, about showing up each day ready to face what life demands, and part of that is taking care of the body and the space you live in. Your appearance is one of the few things completely under your control. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can control how you show up to meet it. A clean shirt, brushed teeth, trimmed nails, a fresh scent. It doesn't take money, it takes effort, it takes awareness, and most of all, it takes discipline. People respect what looks sharp, what feels intentional, not because it's fancy, but because it reflects effort. When you see someone who is neat, organized, and composed, you assume they've got it together. And many times, that assumption opens doors, at work, in relationships, in everyday life. But more important than what others think is what you feel. When you look good, you think clearer, you feel more capable, you carry yourself differently, you walk with more focus, more confidence, because your mind sees the outside as proof of what's happening inside. This is not about chasing perfection, it's about building habits. Keep your space clean, lay out your clothes, iron your shirt, fix your posture, groom yourself. These small things build a sense of order that carries into everything you do. Let others roll out of bed and stumble into the day. Let them make excuses, but not you. You're here to lead yourself, not follow the crowd. You're here to earn respect, not demand it. And that begins with how you show up. If you can't master yourself in the mirror, how will you master yourself in the world? How will you lead others? How will you handle pressure, conflict, chaos? Start with what you can control. Build from the outside in. Because when you wake up and demand more from yourself in the little things, the big things get easier. Every clean edge, every firm handshake, every polished detail, they add up. They build a message. I take myself seriously. I respect myself. I expect more. So remember this. Your appearance is your first statement. Make it count. Let the world see your discipline before they hear your words. Let them know without saying anything that you came prepared. You don't have to be perfect, but you must be intentional. Because people may forget your words, but they will never forget how you made them feel, and your presence starts with how you present yourself. Look sharp, stand tall, be ready. Number 4, don't be predictable. If people can read you like a book, they can control you. If they always know what you're going to say, how you'll react, what move you'll make next, you've already lost the upper hand. Predictability makes you easy to manipulate, easy to dismiss, easy to forget. If you always react with anger, they'll press your buttons on purpose. If you always give in, they'll keep asking. If you always show up the same way, say the same things, follow the same habits, then you've stopped being a person of power and started being a pattern. Don't be a pattern. Surprise is strength. Mystery is leverage. If people don't know what you're thinking, they pay closer attention. If they don't know your next move, they respect your space. Your unpredictability becomes your shield. Your silence, your pauses, your changes in rhythm, these keep others guessing. And when they're guessing, you're in control. This doesn't mean you should play games or pretend to be someone you're not. This means learning to act with intention, not out of habit. To choose your moves carefully. To step away from being automatic. Think about animals in the wild. The ones who survive are the ones who don't move in straight lines. They change paths. They hide. They adapt. The same is true for you. If people know your routine, your triggers, your limits, they can trap you. But if you stay sharp, flexible, unpredictable, no one can box you in. Don't let people think they've figured you out. Keep something for yourself. Keep a layer they can't touch. Move differently when needed. Speak less when they expect a reaction. Walk away when they expect a fight. Agree when they expect resistance. Pause when they expect speed. Being unpredictable makes others nervous. Not because you're dangerous, but because they don't know how to handle you. And people fear what they can't predict. Even in your daily habits, change things. Change your timing. Change your path. Don't live every day on autopilot. Predictability leads to boredom, and boredom leads to carelessness. Carelessness is how you lose your edge. Marcus Aurelius wasn't wild or chaotic, but he wasn't obvious either. He reflected before he responded. He moved with thought, not impulse. He surprised people with calm when they expected anger, with stillness when they expected force. That's real power. If someone thinks they can predict how you'll respond to disrespect, they'll test you. But if they're unsure, if they've seen you be calm one day and cold the next, they'll think twice. That hesitation is power. That pause is yours. In your relationships, don't always be available. In your routines, don't always be predictable. In your mindset, don't always react. Learn to hold still when others move. Learn to move when others pause. Learn to lead by staying one step ahead, not louder, just sharper. Predictable people are easy to control, easy to replace, easy to use. But people who are hard to read, they earn respect without asking for it. They lead without forcing it. So ask yourself right now, what have I made too easy to predict? My emotions, my habits, my time. Change it, shift it, shake it up. You are not here to live a life that runs on script. You are here to be disciplined, focused, but never obvious. Let them think they've figured you out, then move in silence and do what they didn't see coming. Number 5, train yourself to be misunderstood. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need the world to agree with you. And you definitely don't need strangers to understand your every move. The sooner you accept this, the stronger you become. People will misunderstand you. Let them. They will twist your silence into arrogance. Let them. They will call your discipline cold. Let them. They will think you've changed, become distant, lost interest, just because you stopped oversharing, stopped people-pleasing, stopped chasing their approval. Let them. You're not here to be understood. You're here to grow, to build, to become something few people even try to become. And that kind of growth is lonely. That kind of growth is hard to explain. Most people live on the surface. They don't understand sacrifice. They don't understand solitude. They don't understand why you're quiet, why you say no, why you disappear for weeks, why you don't react the way they expect. They want you to be simple, predictable, easy to label, easy to manage. But once you break free from that box, they panic. They criticize what they don't understand, and they attack what they can't control. Let them. You need to build a mind strong enough to be judged without crumbling. You need to train your emotions to stay steady when others get loud, when they question your decisions, when they doubt your direction. Stop trying to convince them. Stop trying to be liked. It's a trap. The more you explain, the more power you give away. The more you defend yourself, the more permission you give others to question your path. You don't need that. You don't need to make your vision small enough for them to understand. Marcus Aurelius was misunderstood. Every true leader is. Every focused person is. Every disciplined mind is seen as strange by those who lack it. That's just part of the price you pay to live with purpose. So let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them say, you've changed. Because yes, you have. You're not the person who needed their approval anymore. You're not here to stay in the same place to make others comfortable. Train yourself to be okay with that. When you move in silence, people will assume. When you raise your standards, people will complain. When you grow, you outgrow, and that makes people insecure. Stay focused. Let them misunderstand. Let your actions speak when your words don't. Let your progress prove what your explanations never could. You don't have to fix every misunderstanding. You don't have to chase after clarity. If they really care, they'll watch. They'll learn. They'll understand on their own time. And if they don't, that's not your burden to carry. Don't let the fear of being misunderstood pull you off track. Don't let the opinions of small minds shrink your mission. Your journey is yours. Your values are yours. Your reasons are yours. People might not get it now, but that's okay. You're not building for now. You're building for later. And by the time they finally understand you, you'll be too far ahead to hear them. So, train yourself for this. Build the strength to walk alone, the calm to be doubted, the patience to let your results speak. That's how real power is built, not through explaining, but through living with purpose. Let them misunderstand. You're not here to be liked. You're here to become unshakable. Number 6. Be dangerous in the right way. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be aggressive. But you do need to be dangerous, not to harm others, but to protect yourself. To walk into the world knowing that if something goes wrong, you are not helpless, you are not weak, you are prepared. The world does not respect weakness. It might pity it, it might use it, but it does not respect it. Respect is earned through strength, calm strength, controlled strength, dangerous strength. Being dangerous doesn't mean being violent. It means being capable, being ready, having something inside you that no one wants to wake up. You don't need to use it, but people should feel that it's there. If someone crosses the line, they should feel it. If someone disrespects you, they should think twice before doing it again. Not because you screamed, not because you lost control, but because your presence says, "I'm not someone to play with." Most people avoid conflict not because they're peaceful, but because they're powerless. They back down not by choice, but because they have no other option. That's not peace, that's fear. Real peace is when you have the power to fight, but choose not to. Real confidence is when you know you could destroy someone, but you'd rather walk away. That's the kind of danger the world respects. Train your body, not for attention, but for strength, for confidence, for control. A strong body changes how you feel, it changes how you move, and it changes how people move around you. Train your mind. Learn to think clearly under pressure. Learn to control your emotions. Learn to speak with power and move with purpose. A strong mind doesn't panic, it plans. Train your voice. Speak in a way that people feel. Speak with few words, but with weight. Let every sentence show that you're not to be underestimated. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor. He didn't shout, he didn't threaten, he didn't fight in the streets. But everyone knew he was not weak. He had the power to destroy, but the wisdom to control it. That's real danger, the kind that walks quietly and commands respect without force. People confuse being nice with being good. They are not the same. A nice person avoids conflict at all costs. A good person stands up when it matters. A dangerous person knows when to speak, when to act, and when to walk away, and they do all three with strength. Be the kind of person no one wants to cross. Not because you're cruel, but because you're sharp, focused, unshakable. Be the calm one in the room who could flip the table if needed, but never has to. That's what it means to be dangerous in the right way. You're not out to hurt anyone, but you are ready, ready to defend your peace, ready to protect your people, ready to stand your ground when life demands it. The world respects strength, but even more, it respects controlled strength. The person who has fire but knows how to aim it. The person who can fight but doesn't need to prove it. So become dangerous in your mind, in your body, in your presence. Then walk through the world in silence, because your energy will speak for you. And when the time comes to protect your respect, your peace, your name, you'll know exactly what to do. Number 7. Embrace mild public shame. Don't run from embarrassment. Don't avoid uncomfortable moments. Don't try to be invisible just to feel safe. You need to learn how to be seen, even when it stings. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to feel a little shame, a little awkwardness, a little failure in front of others. Because that's where real confidence is built. Not in hiding, not in perfection, but in those moments where your pride takes a hit and you stand tall anyway. Most people live their whole lives afraid of what others will think. They won't try something new, speak in public, ask a question, or chase a dream, just because they might be laughed at, judged, corrected, exposed. That fear of shame is a prison. And the key to breaking out is simple: stop avoiding it. You must train your mind to endure small hits to your ego. Let people see you stumble. Let them hear your voice shake. Let them raise their eyebrows. Then keep going. Because once you realize that shame doesn't kill you, it loses its power. You don't need to become shameless. You just need to become resilient. Mild shame, messing up in front of others, getting something wrong, failing publicly, is not the end of the world. It's a test. One that builds strength, one that filters out the weak, the ones who back down when eyes are on them, the ones who fold under judgment. You won't be one of them. When you speak and your voice cracks, keep speaking. When you try and fall short, try again. When you're mocked or misunderstood, don't respond, just improve. You are not here to entertain the crowd. You are here to outlast them. Marcus Aurelius didn't hide from judgment. He wrote about facing insults, setbacks, and the opinions of others. He reminded himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." In other words, don't waste time being afraid of shame. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall short. You're going to look foolish sometimes. That's part of the process. If you wait until you're perfect, you'll never move. If you wait until no one is watching, you'll never lead. So go out there. Speak up in the meeting. Share the idea. Try the thing you're afraid of. Let them see you sweat. Let them laugh. Then keep going. Because every time you survive a little shame, you grow a thicker skin, a calmer mind, a stronger spine. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to stop running. Let shame knock on the door, and don't flinch when it enters. Look it in the eye and keep moving. That's how leaders are made. Not by avoiding failure, but by facing it in public and refusing to break. Stop trying to be perfect. Perfection is a mask for fear. It's better to be flawed and brave than silent and fake. The world doesn't respect those who hide. It respects those who step forward, even when it's uncomfortable. So next time your hands shake, your face turns red, or you feel like shrinking, don't. Breathe. Own it. Finish strong. And when it's over, remind yourself, that wasn't as bad as I thought. That's how you train your mind for pressure. That's how you become unshakable. Let them watch. Let them doubt. Let them whisper. Then rise anyway. Number 8. Devalue the power of insults through pre-rehearsal. Insults only hurt when they catch you by surprise, when you expect praise and receive criticism instead, when you expect kindness but get disrespect. That's when you feel the sting. But what if you were already ready for it? What if you had seen the blow coming and stood there, unmoved? You must rehearse insults before they come, not because you're paranoid, but because you're prepared. This is what the Stoics called premeditation of adversity. Expect the hit before it lands. Play it out in your mind. Imagine someone mocking you, questioning you, attacking your name, your work, your image. Then ask yourself, if that happens, will I crumble or will I remain calm? You see, insults only have power if you give them value. If someone throws a stone and you pick it up and carry it, that's on you. But if the stone hits the ground and you keep walking, it loses its force. Most people walk through life soft. They're not mentally prepared. They hope everyone will like them, agree with them, clap for them. And when they don't, when someone disrespects them, they lose control. Their peace is shattered because they expected comfort. But you must be different. You must expect resistance, expect rude words, expect misunderstanding. Not because you're negative, but because you're ready. Every morning ask yourself, what if today someone mocks me? What if they attack my progress, my appearance, my past? And then rehearse your reaction. Stillness, strength, silence. Let them speak. Let them throw their words. You've heard worse already, in your mind. You've practiced this moment. It's not new to you. So you stand calm. You stay still. You smile, not because it doesn't hurt, but because you've stripped the insult of its surprise. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "Today I will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and rude." Not maybe, not if. He said, will. He expected it. And because he expected it, it never broke him. You need to do the same. Rehearse the worst, so when it comes, it feels small. Practice being calm while others are loud. Practice being silent while others attack. Not because you're weak, but because you've already faced it in your mind and beat it there first. Ask yourself, what insult would hurt me most today? Now imagine hearing it from the person you least want to hear it from. Picture it. Sit with it. Then breathe. Let the sting pass. You didn't die. You didn't break. You just got stronger. This is how you take away their weapon. You disarm the insult before it's ever spoken. You devalue the words before they ever hit your ears. Because here's the truth. Words only cut if you're soft inside. But if you've built armor through pre-rehearsal, if your mind is already sharp and expecting the fire, then no insult can shake you. Most people react, but you prepare. Most people carry every rude comment like a wound, but you walk through the fire untouched. Why? Because you trained for it. You chose to suffer in your mind so you wouldn't suffer in real life. So next time someone disrespects you, let it land and let it fall flat. No anger, no reaction, just presence, just power. And inside, remind yourself, I already knew this moment would come. I already beat it in my mind. That's how you win. Not by controlling what others say, but by mastering what you expect and how you respond. Pre-rehearsal turns pain into preparation. So when the insult comes, it finds nothing to cling to. Number 9. Never speak from ego, only principle. Think before you speak. Ask yourself one question. Am I saying this because of my values, or just to protect my pride? If the answer is ego, stay silent. If it's principle, speak with calm strength. Most people speak from emotion, from hurt, from insecurity, from a need to be seen, to win, to defend themselves. But that kind of speech is weak. It's reactive. It adds noise, not value. It may feel good in the moment, but it costs you clarity, respect, and control. You don't need to defend your ego. You don't need to prove you're right. What you need is discipline. The discipline to speak only when your words are rooted in truth, reason, and purpose, not emotion. When someone disrespects you, your ego will want to lash out, to say something sharp, to attack back. Don't. That's not strength. That's insecurity in disguise. Let your silence do the heavy lifting. Let your restraint speak louder than your reaction. And when you do speak, speak from principle. Calm, focused, clear. Not to destroy the other person, but to stand for what's right. not to win the argument, but to stand in truth. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, politics, and chaos every day. He had every excuse to lose his temper, but he didn't, because he understood a leader cannot speak from ego. A Stoic cannot be ruled by emotion. He once wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." Simple, sharp, solid. You are not your ego. You are not every emotion that rushes through you. You are the one who decides which words leave your mouth. Control that, and you control everything. Principle-based speech is different. It's not reactive. It doesn't shout. It doesn't argue to be liked. It's built on values, honor, respect, boundaries, truth. And because of that, it holds weight. It lasts longer. It builds trust. Ego-based speech is loud in the moment and empty right after. You walk away wishing you'd said less, wishing you had kept your cool, wishing you hadn't let your pride speak for you. Train yourself to pause. Before every sharp comment, every defensive reply, every moment you want to win, pause, breathe, ask, what am I trying to protect right now? My ego or my principles? If it's your ego, walk away. If it's your principles, speak, but do it without emotion, without noise. This doesn't mean be passive. It means be precise. When you need to say something hard, say it, but don't raise your voice. When you need to correct someone, do it, but don't humiliate them. When you need to defend a boundary, stand firm, but don't explain yourself endlessly. Principle doesn't beg. It doesn't rage. It just is. And when people see that in you, they feel it. They listen. Not because you force them to, but because your words carry something rare. Integrity. Don't use your voice to protect your pride. Use it to build something better. A stronger version of you. A more focused mind. A more respected presence. Speak less. Mean more. Make your words count. And if you're not sure whether to say something, don't. Let time filter your thoughts. Let discipline shape your response. Remember, ego shouts. Principle speaks. Let others talk to feel important. You speak only when it's necessary. And when you do, they'll know you're not just talking, you're standing. Number 10. Study your enemies as if they're your tutors. Hate no one, not even the ones who tried to hurt you, not even the ones who mocked you, betrayed you, doubted you, or lied to your face. Because while they were trying to break you, they were teaching you, and if you were paying attention, they were shaping your strength. Your enemies are your teachers, maybe not the ones you chose, but the ones you needed. They expose your weakness. They reveal your triggers. They test your patience, your pride, your control. And every time they attack, you have two options: react with emotion or learn with purpose. Most people waste energy trying to prove their enemies wrong. They argue, chase, respond, explode. But the wise stay silent. The disciplined watch closely. They don't waste time fighting. They study. And in that study, they grow sharper, smarter, stronger. Your enemies give you insight no friend ever could. Friends comfort you. Enemies challenge you. Friends encourage you. Enemies expose you. And in that exposure, you see what you still need to work on. That is a gift, if you're humble enough to accept it. Ask yourself, who brings out the worst in me? That's your teacher. Who makes you impatient, insecure, angry, or bitter? That's your mirror. Don't run from them. Watch them. Learn from them. They're showing you where you're still soft, where your ego still lives, where your discipline still cracks. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, war, rumors, and resistance from his own circle. Yet he wrote with calm. He thanked hardship for revealing truth. He didn't seek revenge. He sought understanding, because to him, the enemy was just another lesson. So treat yours the same way. When someone lies about you, learn how to stay silent and focused. When someone doubts you, learn how to keep working in the dark. When someone tries to provoke you, learn how to remain still and unreadable. Your enemies don't define you, but they refine you. They shape your response, and how you respond reveals who you really are. Take notes, watch patterns, understand motives. Don't hate, observe. The person who watches their enemy without emotion is the one who always stays ahead. You can't outsmart someone you don't understand. So study, not to become them, but to protect yourself from them. Most people ignore their enemies or wish them away. Don't. Your enemies are data. They are training. They keep you sharp. They keep you awake. They keep your ego in check. And sometimes they're right. Sometimes the criticism you hate the most holds truth you need to face. Be mature enough to hear it. Be strong enough to extract the lesson from the insult. The world is full of feedback, but most people are too emotional to hear it. Not you. You study, you adapt, you upgrade, quietly, powerfully, without complaint. That's how you win. Not by clapping back, not by proving anything, but by growing so much that the person who once had power over you no longer recognizes you. So the next time someone crosses you, offends you, competes with you, don't get emotional. Get curious. What are they showing you? What can you learn? What weakness are they pressing on that you still need to strengthen? Your enemies are part of your training, so treat them as such. Don't fear them. Don't hate them. Learn from them. Because the more you learn, the less they control, and the more you grow, the less they matter. Number 11. Always be ready to leave everything. Hold nothing too tightly. Not your job, not your image, not your possessions, not even the people around you. Because the moment you need something to feel whole, you've lost control. Real strength is built on freedom, and freedom means being ready to walk away from anything at any time, if it goes against your values, your peace, or your purpose. Most people stay stuck because they can't imagine letting go. They stay in broken relationships, toxic jobs, fake friendships, dead routines, all because they fear losing what they've grown attached to. But attachment is weakness if it stops you from moving forward. You must train your mind to be light, not careless, not cold, but clear. To be someone who can carry great things without being controlled by them. Someone who can walk away with nothing and still remain grounded. Ask yourself, if I had to let go of everything I have, would I still be me? If the answer is no, you've given your identity away. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, but he reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. He understood, nothing lasts, everything is borrowed, and because of that, we must hold everything with a loose grip. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care, it means you don't cling. You give your best, but you stay ready. Ready to walk away from anything that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Your loyalty is to your values, not your comfort. Your mission, not your habits. If something starts to pull you off course, even if you once loved it, you let it go. Relationships? If they demand that you lower your standards or betray yourself to keep them, you leave. Status? If it turns you into someone fake, someone shallow, someone small, you walk away. Success. If it comes at the cost of your soul, you let it burn. The more you fear losing something, the more power it has over you. And power you give away is power you don't have when life tests you. Everything around you is temporary. Everything you own can be gone tomorrow. If your peace depends on things staying the same, you're not free, you're trapped. Practice detachment in small ways. Delete things you don't use. Walk away from things that no longer serve you. Take breaks from comfort. Say no when saying yes would cost you your peace. Live in a way that says, I can lose everything, and I'll still be me. Because that's where unshakable power lives. Not in holding on, but in knowing you don't need to. When people know you're not afraid to walk away, they respect you differently. You can't be manipulated. You can't be guilt-tripped. You can't be controlled. Why? Because you've already made peace with loss. That's rare. That's dangerous. That's powerful. Don't wait for life to force you to let go. Train yourself now. Get used to change. Practice letting go. So when the moment comes, you don't break, you move. Remember this. Freedom isn't found in what you have. It's found in what you can leave behind without fear. So be the person who shows up fully, but holds nothing too tightly. Be all in, but always ready to walk away. Own things, love people, enjoy life, but never let any of it own you. Number 12. Practice reverse arrogance. Most people walk into the room thinking they're better than everyone else. That's normal arrogance, but reverse arrogance is different. It's not thinking less of yourself. It's choosing to believe that everyone has something to teach you, that you're never too good to learn, never too wise to listen, never too strong to stay humble. Reverse arrogance is power with humility. It's when you know your worth, but you don't need to prove it. You don't walk around bragging, talking over people, or showing off your success. You stay grounded. You stay quiet. You let your results speak. The arrogant mind thinks it knows everything. It stops listening. It stops growing. But the reverse arrogant mind walks in thinking, I know what I know, but I also know there's more to learn. And that mindset will take you farther than talent, confidence, or natural intelligence ever could. Most people are so busy trying to look smart that they miss the lesson. But when you practice reverse arrogance, you ask questions. You stay curious. You treat the janitor with the same respect as the CEO, because you know wisdom doesn't always come with a title or a spotlight. Sometimes it comes quietly, from someone you weren't even paying attention to. This mindset isn't weakness. It's rare strength. To choose humility when you could flex, to choose silence when you could speak, to choose listening when you already know the answer. It's easy to look down on others, but that means nothing. It's harder to look inward and ask, what do I still need to work on? Reverse arrogance forces you to do that. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, and he still wrote to himself daily, reminding himself not to be proud, not to get lost in praise, not to see himself as better than anyone. He ruled with calm, with restraint, with awareness, because he knew ego destroys everything it touches. And ego doesn't just show up in loud people. Sometimes it hides in the quiet ones too, the ones who judge silently, who look down on others, who think they're above correction. That's still arrogance, and it still leads to failure. But when you practice reverse arrogance, you protect yourself from that fall. You become open. You let people teach you, even your enemies, even your critics, especially the ones you don't want to listen to, because there's something in every voice that can sharpen you, if you stop letting your pride block it. Next time someone gives you advice, don't brush it off. Listen. You don't have to agree, but hear it, weigh it, consider it. Reverse arrogance means you assume others know something you don't, and you're not too proud to admit it. It also means you don't make everything about you. When someone tells a story, let them finish. When someone shares an experience, don't jump in with your own. Stay present, stay focused. People feel that. They remember it, because most are too self-absorbed to give it. In every room you enter, remind yourself, I'm not above anyone. I'm here to learn, not to impress. That keeps you grounded. That keeps you real. And that makes people respect you in a way arrogance never will. So remember this, confidence is quiet, growth is humble, and power doesn't need a spotlight. Practice reverse arrogance. Be strong, but stay open. Be sharp, but always learning. Because the day you think you're above the lesson is the day you stop rising. Number 13. Don't defend yourself verbally, ever. Let people talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand you, insult you, criticize you. Do not explain yourself. Do not argue. Do not try to clear your name. You don't need to. The moment you start defending yourself, you place your worth in someone else's hands. You give them control. You act like their opinion matters more than your truth. That's weakness disguised as pride. Most people live on edge, ready to defend themselves at every word. A little gossip, a little shade, and they explode. They post, rant, over-explain. Why? Because their identity is tied to being understood. But once you need to be understood, you've already lost. You were not put here to be understood by everyone. You were put here to become something strong. And that strength does not come from arguing. It comes from silence, from presence, from calm. Let them accuse you. Let them twist your words. Let them form opinions based on half-truths and hearsay. That's their noise, not your reality. If you start trying to fix every false image of you, you'll spend your whole life running in circles. People believe what they want to believe. If they want to hate you, they will. If they want to twist your words, they will. If they want to judge you, they will. And guess what? None of that changes who you are. Marcus Aurelius faced enemies, liars, betrayal, politics, and he didn't chase after his reputation. He didn't beg for understanding. He stayed rooted in his actions. He focused on living right, not on looking right. That's the mindset you need. Live in a way that makes words useless. Let your actions speak so clearly that no rumor can survive in the long term. And in the short term, let people guess. Every time you defend yourself, you're saying, your view of me matters more than my own peace. And that's never the case. The more powerful you become, the more misunderstood you will be. That's the cost of rising above the crowd. You must train your mind to stay quiet in the face of attack. You must learn to let your silence become your sword. This doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It means you don't waste your breath where your effort will be ignored. You don't argue in the mud. You rise above it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your standards, your decisions, or your growth. The people who matter don't need your defense. They already see you. The ones who don't, nothing you say will ever be enough anyway. Let your life do the talking. Let your consistency do the work. Let your results make the noise. Defend yourself in how you show up, in how you work, in how you keep going when others try to drag you down. That's real defense. Quiet, powerful, untouchable. Say nothing, build everything. And watch how the same people who doubted you go silent. So next time they lie, twist your story, or paint you wrong, do nothing, say nothing, keep building. You are not here to be right in their eyes. You are here to live by truth. That truth needs no defense. Silence is your shield. Discipline is your proof. Time is your ally. So hold your ground, walk away, and never defend yourself verbally, ever. Number 14. Never demand loyalty. Command it by inner gravity. Loyalty is not something you ask for, it's something you attract. If you have to beg for it, threaten for it, or constantly test it, it's not real. Loyalty that matters is earned, not forced. Don't go around demanding that people stand by you. That's weakness. That's fear. Instead, become the kind of person others want to follow, want to protect, want to stay close to, without being asked. That kind of loyalty comes from strength, stillness, integrity. People feel your energy before they hear your words. They know when they're standing next to someone who doesn't break, doesn't fold, doesn't sell out. Think of the strongest people you know, the ones who walk into a room and change it. Not by talking, but by presence. That's gravity. That's what you want to build. You build it by keeping your word, by being solid, by never acting out of desperation, by making hard decisions calmly, by being someone who does the right thing, especially when no one's watching. Don't beg people to stay. Let them go if they want to leave. Don't guilt-trip your friends. Don't test their loyalty with drama. Watch them. Observe. Loyalty reveals itself when things get quiet, when times get hard, when there's nothing to gain. Marcus Aurelius never forced people to follow him. He ruled with calm discipline and personal example. He didn't scream loyalty, he earned it. And if someone betrayed him, he moved forward. No begging, no chasing, just composure. You don't need 100 people. You need a few good ones. And you'll find them not by demanding loyalty, but by embodying it. Be loyal to your values. Be loyal to your mission. Be loyal to your standards. That's your anchor. That's your code. And those who align with it, they'll stay, without being asked. So stop looking around. Start looking within. Loyalty flows to those who don't need it, but live in a way that commands it. Let your character do the talking. Let your silence do the filtering. And let your gravity pull the right ones in. Number 15. Master cold praise. When you praise someone, do it with control, do it with calm, do it with intention. That's called cold praise. Not loud, not excited, not overdone. Just steady, measured respect, given without need, without attachment, and without trying to win favor. Why? Because real praise, cold praise, shows confidence, emotional control, strength, and most of all, power. Most people praise out of weakness. They praise to be liked. They compliment to be accepted. They flatter because they want something in return: approval, attention, status. But when praise is warm and needy, it exposes you. It shows you want something, and people feel it. That kind of praise does the opposite of what you think. It lowers your value. But cold praise? Cold praise is different. You look someone in the eye and you say, "Well done." No smile, no extra words, no energy behind it. Just respect. Sharp, short, real. It lands harder. Because it doesn't beg. It doesn't ask for attention. It doesn't try to please. It simply recognizes what needs to be recognized and moves on. Think about the strongest people you've met, the most disciplined, the most respected. They don't shower others with compliments, but when they do say something good, people remember it. Why? Because it's rare, it's sincere, and it's cold. That kind of praise means more than 100 empty compliments.
Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time on flattery. He praised actions, not feelings. He praised results, not noise. And when he spoke well of someone, he did it with precision, not emotion. That's your model. Start practicing this today. Watch your tone, your words, your timing. Don't praise everything. Don't praise often. But when something truly earns your respect, acknowledge it, but with control. A simple nod, a sharp comment, one sentence, then move on. This teaches people two things. Your words mean something. You don't give them away cheaply. Cold praise is a test. It filters out people who only want your approval. The ones who crave validation will feel unsettled by it. They won't know where they stand. And that's a good thing, because it protects your value. It keeps you from being pulled into emotional games. Never use praise to fill silence. Never use it to be nice. Nice is not respected. Calm, clear, intentional. That is respected. And never use praise to soften your strength. Some people praise before they set a boundary, or after they reject someone, or to calm a conflict. Don't. That waters down your message. It makes you look uncertain, weak. If someone earns your respect, give it to them cold. Calm tone, steady posture, strong eye contact. Then leave it at that. No need to explain, no need to smile, no need to soften it. It's better to underpraise than to overpraise. When you speak sparingly, your voice has weight. When you praise without emotion, it hits harder. When you speak without need, you keep your power. Cold praise is not rude, it's not robotic, it's focused. And in a world that's addicted to noise, that focus stands out. So remember, flattery is noise. Approval seeking is weakness. But cold praise, that's strength. Say less, mean more, give your words sharp edges, and never let your praise come from need. Let it come from discipline. Number 16. Don't flatter, ever. Speak the truth, not what others want to hear. Flattery is manipulation. It may sound polite, it may seem harmless, but underneath it is weakness, a need to be liked, a fear of rejection, a desire for approval. And once you speak like that, people know they can own you. Flattery is not respect. It's begging dressed as a compliment. It's what people say when they want something. It's empty words meant to please, not to guide. And the person who flatters becomes forgettable because their words have no weight. Don't be that person. Don't exaggerate praise. Don't pretend to admire what you don't. Don't give compliments just to fit in or keep the peace. People may smile when they hear it, but deep down, they'll know you're not real. And once they see that, they'll never truly respect you. Speak simply. Speak honestly. If someone is great at something, tell them, once, clearly, directly, and then move on. Let your praise be rare and real. Let your words carry value because they're not handed out carelessly. People admire the man who doesn't flatter. Why? Because they know when that man speaks, he means it. Because they know he's not trying to gain favor, he's standing in truth. Even when you're impressed by someone, stay grounded. Compliment their work, not their ego. Speak to their effort, not their identity.
You are not here to boost feelings, you're here to stay honest. Flattery makes you look small. It makes you sound unsure of yourself. It makes people wonder, what does he want from me? And the moment they think that, they stop trusting you. Marcus Aurelius never flattered his generals, his people, or his enemies. He led with reason, not charm. He gave credit when it was earned, but he didn't decorate it with sweet talk. He knew that truth lasts longer than empty praise. Practice that. Speak to people with respect, but never from weakness. Give credit where it's due, but do not decorate it with exaggeration. Be sincere, be brief, be steady. In every interaction, people are testing your voice. They're listening not just to your words, but your intent. And when your intent is to impress, to gain favor, to be liked, they feel it. Don't chase approval. Don't try to buy comfort with compliments. Don't dilute your voice trying to please people who barely notice you. Build a reputation for speaking truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Be the one whose praise is rare, but always real. The one who doesn't need to flatter because they're not trying to get anything. That kind of presence is powerful. It makes people stop and listen. It makes your words matter. And when people ask you what you think, don't try to protect their ego. Speak with kindness, yes, but speak with clarity. Never lie to make someone feel good. Never pretend. Never lower your standards just to be accepted. You don't need to flatter to connect. You don't need to charm to earn respect. Let others play that game. You walk a straighter path. And when others compliment you excessively, smile. Say thank you. Then move on. Don't get drunk on sweet words. Stay sharp. Stay humble. Stay steady. Flattery is noise. Truth is substance. Choose substance. So remember, don't flatter, ever, not because you're cold, but because you're honest. And the world needs more of that. Number 17. Sleep on rejection. When rejection hits, don't react, don't respond, don't beg, don't defend. Just pause, walk away, stay silent, and sleep on it. You don't need to prove anything in the moment. You don't need to make them understand why you deserved better. You don't need to argue or explain. You need time. You need clarity. You need space to think. Rejection stings. It touches your pride. It shakes your confidence. But if you react too fast, all you do is expose your weakness. You speak from pain, not principle. And pain-driven words always lead to regret. So when someone says no, when they shut you out, ignore you, reject you, let it land, then leave it, let it sit, and walk away with discipline. The first night is the hardest. You'll feel anger, maybe sadness, maybe the urge to prove your worth. But don't give in to that first wave. Emotions rise. Let them. Don't act. Don't speak. Don't post. Don't chase. Just breathe. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius faced rejection from people in his court, the Senate, even close advisors. He didn't respond with emotion. He slept on it. He gave space before deciding anything. Why? Because emotion makes you impulsive. Sleep gives you wisdom. You must learn this. Not every closed door needs to be kicked open. Not every rejection is personal. Not every no is an attack on your identity. Sometimes it's redirection. Sometimes it's a test. Sometimes it's a gift you won't understand until later. But you'll only see that if you pause. Rejection is not the end of anything. It's feedback. And if you take it with composure, you gain something most people never will: emotional control.
The next morning, after sleep, after stillness, you'll feel different. What hurt at night becomes clear by morning. What felt urgent will feel small. What looked like the end will look like a step. And that's the power of waiting. Sleeping on rejection is not weakness, it's restraint. It's saying, I am more than this moment. It's showing yourself and the world that you don't break from a no. You evolve. Let others react fast. Let them post their pain online. Let them chase what just rejected them. Let them look desperate. You stay grounded, even if it was unfair, even if it caught you off guard, even if they don't see your value. That doesn't change who you are. That doesn't lower your worth. If someone rejects you, good. Now you know where they stand. Now you have your answer. Now you can walk forward without dragging them in your mind. And if it was an opportunity you lost, let it go. If it's truly meant for you, you'll come back stronger. If not, something better will meet you on the path. Either way, you win. But only if you don't fold under the first hit. So next time rejection comes, don't panic, don't perform, don't explain. Just pause. Hold your ground. Say nothing. Sleep. Because when you wake up, you'll see the truth. And truth, not emotion, is what you move with. That's how calm people win. Let rejection come. Then let the night pass and rise stronger the next day with no bitterness, no weakness, no noise. Just direction. Number 18. Collect emotional weapons, not just thoughts. Reading isn't enough. Knowing isn't enough. Thinking deeply isn't enough. You can fill your mind with wisdom, but if your emotions collapse under pressure, what good is any of it? Most people confuse knowledge with strength. They study, quote, and post all the right things, but the moment life hits them in the gut, they break. They know what they should do, but can't do it. Why? Because they haven't built emotional weapons. They've only collected thoughts. You must go beyond thinking. You must build internal tools. Tools that work when your back is against the wall. Tools that stay sharp when your mind is clouded by anger, fear, or stress. That's what emotional weapons are. Mental habits that don't break under fire. Discipline is a weapon. So is patience. So is detachment. So is silence. So is the ability to breathe deeply and not react when insulted, tested, or pushed. These are not traits you're born with. These are forged, like steel. You need to train them every day. Not when life is easy, but when it's uncomfortable, when someone disrespects you, when a door slams in your face, when you're misunderstood, overlooked, underestimated. That's when you train. That's when you sharpen the blade. Don't just know that anger is useless. Practice letting it pass. Don't just understand that silence is powerful. Use it when your ego wants to speak. Don't just agree that patience is strength. Hold your ground when everything in you wants to act now. Thoughts are theory. Emotional weapons are execution. Marcus Aurelius didn't survive by simply writing clever lines. He survived because he lived by them, under pressure, under attack, under the weight of an empire. He didn't just think, he trained. Daily, internally. You must do the same. You can't rely on memory when emotion is high. You must rely on reflex, automatic control, built from repetition, forged through friction. That's what separates the disciplined from the reactive. That's what builds a dangerous mind, one that can face insult, chaos, and uncertainty, and remain untouched. Emotional weapons don't show off, they stay hidden.
But you'll feel them. You'll feel them when someone tests you and you don't flinch, when something goes wrong and you don't panic, when you're alone and still centered. That's strength no one can fake. So collect thoughts, but turn them into training, into habits, into tools that work when thinking is no longer an option. Read less, reflect more, test yourself. Put yourself in situations where your emotional control is the only thing you have. That's how you grow. That's how you level up. Control your breath. Control your tone. Control your attention. Learn to detach without disconnecting. Learn to feel emotion without becoming emotion. That's your armor. Build the ability to pause mid-conflict, mid-failure, mid-praise. Pause, think, stay still, and then respond. Slowly, clearly, with weight. No panic, no performance, just control. That's what a warrior looks like on the inside. Don't just collect quotes. Don't just agree with ideas. Make them part of your instincts, because when life gets loud, you won't have time to think. You'll only have time to act, and you will act the way you've trained. So build yourself from the inside out, quietly, daily, ruthlessly. Let the world see a calm face. Let it feel a steady presence. Let it have no idea how sharp you've become beneath the surface. Because you don't need to show your weapons. You just need to carry them with confidence. Number 19. Do small, private acts of austerity. You don't need to show the world how disciplined you are. You need to live it, quietly, privately, consistently. Austerity means going without, choosing less, training your mind and body to function without comfort, without luxury, without applause. Not to punish yourself, but to harden yourself, to remind yourself that you are not dependent on pleasure. In a world where everyone is chasing more convenience, more pleasure, more attention, you must go the other way. Strip it back, go without, on purpose. Eat a plain meal, even when you can afford more. Sleep on the floor once in a while. Walk instead of driving. Fast for a day. Skip the entertainment. Carry something heavy. Refuse comfort when it's not necessary. Don't do it to impress. Don't do it to post. Do it to stay sharp, to stay dangerous, to prove to yourself that you can choose discomfort without being forced into it. Marcus Aurelius slept on hard surfaces even though he was emperor. Cato wore simple clothes when others dressed in luxury. Seneca practiced poverty once a month, even though he was wealthy, just to remind himself that if it ever came, he could handle it. You need to train that same muscle, because when life hits, when you lose something, when comfort is taken, when the world shifts, you will not panic. You've already been there. You've already done without. You've already walked through discomfort on your own terms. That is freedom, and that's why it must be private. No audience, no praise. Because the moment you need recognition for your discipline, it's no longer discipline, it's performance. You're not doing this for attention, you're doing it to build inner steel, quiet confidence, the kind of strength that doesn't flinch when the easy option disappears. Practice self-denial, not forever, not to suffer, but to stay in control. To remind yourself, I am not ruled by appetite, I am not ruled by ease, I am not ruled by comfort. Skip the luxury meal. Turn off the heater. Sit in silence. Delay gratification. You won't die. In fact, you'll wake up sharper, hungrier, more focused. Austerity doesn't mean living in misery. It means choosing discipline over indulgence, once in a while, on purpose, when no one's watching. And when things are easy, when money is good, when your schedule is light, when life feels smooth, that's when you train even harder. That's when you fast. That's when you go without. That's when you put yourself in a state of pressure, even if the world won't. Because soft habits create soft minds, and soft minds break under pressure. You are not building comfort. You are building capacity. And capacity is built in the quiet moments, when no one sees you skip the shortcut, no one sees you pass on pleasure, no one sees you take the harder path just because you can. You must be the kind of person who can endure loss, rejection, discomfort, and chaos without falling apart. That kind of strength is not built in comfort. It's built in quiet austerity. So once in a while, take something away from yourself. A little food, a little heat, a little convenience. Not forever. Just long enough to say, I don't need this. I control this. This doesn't control me. Make it a habit. Keep it private. And when the world breaks down, you'll still be standing, calm, clear, and ready. Because you trained for it. Number 20. Maintain one strategic secret. Keep one thing to yourself, always. One goal, one method, one truth. Something no one knows but you. A plan, a move, a skill, a mission. Something that gives you quiet power. Because in a world where everyone overshares, silence becomes leverage. People who tell you everything are easy to read, easy to track, easy to block. But the one who holds something back, that person is dangerous. Don't let everyone see your hand. Don't tell them what you're working on, what you're about to do, how far ahead you're really thinking. They may act like they support you, but the truth is, most people don't want you to grow beyond them. They want access, they want control, they want comfort, so give them nothing important. Let them think they know you. Let them hear your voice. Let them see your routine. But let there be one piece they don't see, one move you never explain, one goal you never say out loud. That's your edge. Marcus Aurelius journaled every day, but those pages weren't for others. They were for him, his reflections, his training, his reminders. Even as emperor, surrounded by people and power, he kept something sacred for himself, his inner strategy, his private discipline, his personal direction. You need that too, because when everyone knows your full plan, you give them the power to interfere, to doubt, to question. And when you let people's opinions touch your plans, those plans start to weaken. But when it's yours, quiet, protected, untouchable, it stays strong. Not because it's hidden out of fear, but because it's guarded by purpose. That one strategic secret becomes your anchor, your reminder that not everything needs to be announced, shared, or posted. That real strength doesn't seek attention, it seeks results. This doesn't mean lie, it means protect. It means know when to speak and when to stay silent. It means learning that mystery has weight, and that weight earns respect. When people can't fully read you, they stay alert, they hesitate, they second guess, and in that hesitation, you gain space, time, advantage. Even in conversation, don't give it all away. You can be kind, clear, and open, but still reserved, still disciplined, still holding something just for you. Let others talk. Let them overshare. Let them reveal every detail of their plan, their emotions, their next move. You observe, you listen, and you protect your mission, because your mission is not for everyone. There is always something sacred you must carry alone, a vision that isn't ready to be exposed, a goal that needs space to grow, a strategy that becomes more powerful the longer it stays quiet. That's how warriors move. That's how builders move. That's how disciplined minds operate, not with noise, but with precision. So if you haven't done this already, choose it now. One thing you're working on, one project, one habit, one intention, and say nothing about it. Let it grow in silence. Let it sharpen behind the curtain. Let it become real before anyone knows it exists. And when the time comes, when the move is ready, execute. Without warning, without build-up, without announcement. Let your results shock the world. But until then, hold your ground, hold your silence, and hold your secret like it's your sword. Because it is. Number 21. Meditate on becoming unemployable. What does it mean to be unemployable? It means you are no longer dependent on someone else to feed you, to validate you, to give you permission to live. You don't chase jobs. You don't beg for roles. You don't shrink yourself to fit in. You build yourself into someone who cannot be boxed, cannot be ordered, and cannot be controlled by fear of losing a paycheck. This mindset is not about arrogance. It's about freedom. The freedom to walk away. The freedom to say no. The freedom to stay silent when others speak lies and not worry about losing your position. You must train your mind to see employment for what it is, a tool, not a lifeline. A place to sharpen your skills, not a place to lose your soul. If the only reason you stay silent, obedient, or agreeable is to keep your job, you're not free. You're not grounded in principle. You're not in control. You're trapped. Marcus Aurelius was emperor, but he didn't let the title define him. He reminded himself daily that power could be taken at any moment. So he lived in a way that couldn't be broken by status or fear. That's the mindset you need, not just for leadership, but for survival. To become unemployable, you must build something of your own, a skill, a craft, a business, a mind that can think, write, create, solve, lead. Something that no one can take from you, something that gives you power, not dependence. Even if you have a job, think like you don't need it. Work hard, be excellent, but never be afraid to walk away if your values are compromised. Never be so desperate that you betray yourself to survive. People who fear unemployment will say yes to anything. They tolerate disrespect. They compromise their integrity. They become soft, afraid, silent, and over time, they forget who they were. But the one who is mentally unemployable, he speaks clearly, acts boldly, sets boundaries, and doesn't panic when things change, because he's already prepared to stand alone. This doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow. It means think differently, build behind the scenes, read, write, start small, develop a second skill, create value without waiting for permission, and most of all, stop thinking like a servant. You are not meant to be ruled. You are not meant to be afraid of change. You are meant to lead, to adapt, and to survive without needing someone to give you direction. If you lose your job tomorrow, would you panic? Would you beg? Or would you move forward with calm because you've already been preparing? Ask yourself that daily. Build your value so high that you never feel owned. Build your courage so strong that you never feel stuck. Build your vision so clear that you can't be bought. That is what it means to be unemployable, not useless but untouchable. You become dangerous, not because you threaten others, but because you don't need them. And when you don't need them, you speak the truth. You lead with clarity.
you move with power. So meditate on this every day. What if I had to walk away tomorrow? Would you survive? If the answer is no, start now. Build, prepare, strengthen. So one day, if the world turns its back, you'll keep walking, head high, unshaken, because you never needed them to begin with. Number 22. Study those who disrespected you closely. Don't ignore disrespect. Don't overreact to it either. Just remember it and study it, quietly, closely, with full attention, because behind every insult is information, and behind every attack is a map. The person who disrespected you just gave you a gift, a window into their mind, a glimpse into their weakness, an unfiltered look at who they really are when the mask drops. Most people get emotional when they're disrespected. They argue, they defend, they explode. But none of that gives you power. It gives you noise. Power comes from observation, from control, from watching carefully without being shaken. Disrespect is data, how they said it, when they said it, why they said it, what they needed in that moment to try to make you feel small. That tells you everything about them and how much you've already grown beyond them. When someone insults you, they're revealing more about themselves than about you. Insecurity, envy, weakness, lack of self-control. You just became their mirror, and they didn't like what they saw. But your job is not to react. Your job is to analyze. Was it a one-time mistake or a pattern? Did they do it in private, or did they try to humiliate you publicly? Did they attack your character, your effort, or your silence? Did they get bolder when others were watching? Pay attention. Because if you don't understand the people who try to break you, you'll repeat the same mistakes. You'll trust too soon. You'll speak too freely. You'll forget too quickly. And then it happens again. This is not about revenge. This is not about bitterness. This is about intelligence, emotional intelligence, strategic awareness. You must become a master of reading the room, and you can't do that if you avoid discomfort. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal from within his own circle. He was emperor, but even he wasn't safe from disrespect. Yet he didn't lose his composure. He didn't waste time with petty revenge. He wrote, "When someone does wrong, it is because they do not know what is right." He observed, he learned, then he moved on, wiser than before. You must do the same. Don't gossip about them. Don't try to get even. Don't wish them harm. Just study them. Let them reveal their patterns. Let them show you how they treat people when they think no one is watching. That's the real them. Believe it. And then adjust. Set boundaries. Create distance. Remove access. Upgrade your circle. Upgrade your strategy. Because once someone shows you they are capable of disrespecting you, they're capable of doing it again. Don't ignore that just because you want to keep peace. Peace built on silence is not peace, it's delay. Keep a mental list, not to hold a grudge, but to remember who they are. And when life changes, when success comes, when roles shift, you'll know exactly who earned your presence and who lost it forever. Disrespect reveals character, both theirs and yours. Theirs because they chose to act small, yours because you chose to stay calm. You're not here to act like them, you're here to outgrow them. So let them speak, let them underestimate you, let them cross the line, and then use what you've learned to build distance, clarity, and power. Study them, not emotionally, strategically, because every insult is a lesson
in disguise. And the one who learns the fastest wins. Number 23. Teach with your standards, not your voice. You don't need to preach. You don't need to lecture. You don't need to correct everyone around you with words. People don't follow what you say. They follow what you tolerate. Your standards are louder than your advice. The way you live, what you allow, what you refuse, what you walk away from. That's your lesson. If you have to constantly explain yourself, beg for respect, or repeat your values, something's off. It means your actions aren't clear enough, your boundaries aren't strong enough, your example isn't sharp enough. Stop trying to teach with your voice. Start teaching with how you show up. If you value discipline, live it. If you value respect, demand it by what you allow. If you value order, carry it into your space. If you value peace, don't entertain chaos, even once. When you walk into a room, people should feel your standards before you say a word. They should feel the weight of your silence, the clarity in your posture, the presence in your decisions. That's leadership. You don't need to yell. You don't need to explain why something crossed the line. You don't need to list your rules like a contract. All you need to do is act. One firm move teaches more than 1,000 lectures. You don't like how you're being treated? Don't argue. Leave. You don't like how the team is working? Don't complain. Raise your standard. You don't like the energy in the room? Don't talk about it. Change how you show up. Marcus Aurelius didn't write long speeches to force change. He lived with focus, discipline, and silence, and because of that, people followed, not because he demanded it, but because they felt it. The strongest leaders don't chase influence. They attract it through consistency. Your standards are your boundaries, and your boundaries are your signal to the world. People test you with small things. They ask small favors. They cross small lines. How you respond in those moments defines how they treat you going forward. If you let things slide, if you try to keep the peace by staying quiet, they learn they can push further. But when you make one move, walk away, say no, hold firm, without raising your voice, you teach a lesson they won't forget. You show them, I don't lower my standard to keep you close, and that's a powerful message. You don't have to be cold, but you must be clear. And clarity doesn't come from talking. It comes from living your values without apology. When you let your voice lead, you invite debate. But when your standard speaks first, there's nothing to argue with. No explanation needed. No justification required. You want to change your environment? Start with yourself. Show up with a higher standard. Be more disciplined than the room. Be more focused. Be more intentional. Watch what happens. The right people will rise to meet you. The wrong ones will walk away. Both are a win. So, teach by action. Correct with absence. Lead by being the example, not by talking about it. You don't need to say much. Your life is already the message. Number 24. View popular opinion as a virus. Protect your mind. Because the loudest voices are rarely the wisest. The popular opinion, what everyone believes, what everyone says, what everyone does, is often shallow, weak, and designed to keep you average. Most people are not thinking, they are following. They adopt beliefs without question. They speak in slogans. They copy trends. They do what's safe, what's easy, what gets approval. But just like a virus, that mindset spreads. And if you're not careful, it infects you too. You must treat popular opinion as a threat. Not because all of it is wrong, but because most of it is untested, unproven, and repeated only because it's comfortable. The moment you let the crowd into your mind, you lose your edge. You start to doubt your instincts. You question your vision. You adjust your path just to fit in. And slowly, your power fades. Popular opinion rewards comfort, not courage. Pleasure, not discipline. Speed, not depth. Popular opinion tells you, do what makes you happy, but it never tells you, do what makes you strong. You are not here to think like the masses. You are here to observe the masses, and then move differently. Marcus Aurelius warned against letting the crowd pull you into their ways. He reminded himself daily to stand guard over his mind. He knew that most people chase pleasure, fear discomfort, and drift through life without principle. He refused to become one of them. You must do the same. Don't seek validation from the herd. Don't chase applause. Don't copy success just because it's trending. You have to look deeper. Ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this mine? If the answer is no, reject it. This includes what's said online, in the media, in your social circle, even in your own family. Just because it's repeated doesn't make it right. Just because it's popular doesn't make it wise. Popular opinion tells you, take it easy, avoid conflict, don't be too serious, blend in, be realistic. But warriors don't listen to that. Builders don't follow crowds. Leaders don't chase acceptance. They move with purpose, not permission. You must think for yourself. That means being alone sometimes. It means being doubted, mocked, misunderstood. That's fine. That's the price of staying sharp in a world that has gone dull. Treat your mind like your body. Be careful what you let in. Just like you wouldn't eat garbage, don't feed your brain with it either. Don't scroll endlessly. Don't absorb every headline. Don't follow just because others are following. Instead, build filters. Study deeply. Listen carefully. Question everything. And once you know something is true for you, stand on it. With calm, with conviction, without the need for applause. The more you separate yourself from the crowd, the clearer you think. And the clearer you think, the further you go. The crowd will always pull you sideways, but clarity pulls you forward. This doesn't mean hate the crowd. It means don't become them. Don't let the virus of approval-seeking weaken your discipline. Don't let the infection of comfort kill your potential. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be free. So when popular opinion knocks, don't open the door. Observe it. Learn from it. But do not live by it. You don't need it. You need truth, discipline, focus, and the courage to stand alone. Protect your mind, reject the virus, and walk your own path unapologetically. Number 25. Learn to live without applause. You must stop needing praise. Stop chasing recognition. Stop looking for a pat on the back every time you do something right, because the moment you need applause, you've already made yourself weak. Live in a way that doesn't depend on claps. Build in silence. Work in the shadows. Grow without posting it. Improve without broadcasting it. And when success comes, let it speak, not for likes, not for validation, but as proof of your discipline. If you only push hard when people are watching, you're not serious. If you only feel valuable when you're praised, your mind is fragile. If you depend on applause, you are no longer free. You're performing. Stop performing. Start building. Most people want to be seen. They want attention. They want followers, compliments, trophies, cheers. But that kind of reward fades. It comes and goes. And the moment it's not there, you crash. But the disciplined man, the
the focused one, the builder. He doesn't flinch when no one notices, because he didn't do it for applause. He did it because it was right, because it needed to be done, because it aligned with who he is. The real ones don't seek validation. They seek results. They don't ask, will they like this? They ask, does this make me better? That shift in mindset changes everything. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to do good without needing thanks. He knew that virtue is its own reward, that becoming strong on the inside matters more than being praised on the outside. You must learn the same. Live like no one is watching. Practice like no one will clap. Improve like no one will notice. Because that's how true mastery is built. Without noise, without reward, without needing anyone to tell you good job. Let others talk. Let them show off. Let them chase likes and approval. You stay in the shadows. You stay working. You stay focused. And when they forget to applaud you, you keep going. Because the applause will stop. The attention will fade. The room will get quiet. And in that silence, most people give up. They think, what's the point? But you'll know. The point is growth. The point is strength. The point is becoming someone solid, someone sharp, someone real. You'll know that applause was never the goal. The goal was discipline. The goal was becoming unshakable. When you stop needing praise, you become dangerous. You work when others quit. You improve when no one's watching. You sharpen your edge in private. And when you step into the world, you don't need noise to feel powerful. So test yourself, work hard and tell no one. Achieve something and say nothing. Be excellent in silence. Let the results speak if they must. But don't do it for applause. Do it because you refuse to be average. Claps are cheap. Recognition is temporary. But what you build in silence, that stays with you. That builds your character. That makes you unstoppable. Let the world sleep on you. Let them overlook you. Let them miss every step of your rise. And when they finally notice, you won't even care. Because you're already miles ahead. Train yourself to not care who sees you. Train yourself to not care who approves. Train yourself to not care who claps. Because when you no longer need applause, you're finally ready for greatness. You don't earn respect by asking for it. You earn it by becoming someone who commands it without speaking a word. Through your habits, through your silence, through your ability to walk away, stay composed, and never lower your standards. These 25 lessons weren't for show. They were armor, tools, weapons. If you apply them, not once, but daily, disrespect won't even reach you. People will feel your presence before you speak. And that's the goal. Calm, disciplined, untouchable. If this resonated, drop a comment below. Let me know which principle hit the hardest for you. I read everyone. And if you're ready to build an unshakable mind, subscribe to the channel now. No fluff, no hype, just straight mental strength, one lesson at a time. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who can't be moved. Let that be you. Have you ever found yourself in a relationship that slowly chips away at your peace, your confidence, and your sense of self-worth? In today's video, we're going to uncover 9 unmistakable signs that it may be time to cut ties completely, even if that person is someone close to you, like a friend or a family member. Picture this. Is there someone in your life who consistently makes you feel guilty, judged, or as though your value depends solely on how much you please them? As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind,
not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Setting boundaries and creating distance isn't selfish. It's a vital act of self-respect and protection for your inner peace. This video is designed to help you not only identify these toxic patterns, but also to equip you with the tools and confidence to confront them without guilt and without second-guessing yourself. Make sure to stay with me until the very end, because I'll be revealing one of the most subtle yet widespread signs of a damaging relationship, one that many people overlook, and I'll share how you can liberate yourself from it for good. Before we dive in, if you find these insights valuable, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future content that empowers your spirit and transforms your relationships for the better. Now, let's begin this important journey of reclaiming your freedom, your dignity, and the peace of mind you truly deserve. First, avoid people who are unwilling to spend money. Have you ever encountered someone whose first comment to you always seems to revolve around not having enough money? At first, it's easy to feel sympathy, especially if you believe they're going through a tough time. But strangely, these individuals often enjoy a fairly comfortable lifestyle, taking trips, indulging in hobbies, and spending on their own pleasures. Yet, when it comes to you or any shared commitment, they suddenly claim financial limitations to avoid responsibility or avoid giving back. This isn't about struggling with poverty, it's about intentional behavior. If you've experienced this, pause and reflect. This is not a sign of a balanced or authentic connection. I once had a friend just like this. Every time we planned an activity together, he would find a reason related to money to back out. But I noticed that he had no problem spending on expensive clothes or impressing others. One day, when he backed out of a trip we had both been excited about, I realized the issue wasn't money. It was the lack of value he placed on our time together. That was the turning point for me. I understood then that such relationships cannot thrive because they aren't built on fairness or genuine care. Whether it's with friends, family members, or romantic partners, every healthy relationship is rooted in mutual giving and shared respect. If you constantly find yourself giving while the other person continually takes, with no sign of effort to reciprocate, then you're carrying the weight of an unbalanced and emotionally draining connection. Always remember, fulfilling relationships are based on mutual respect, equality, and heartfelt care. If someone only sees you as a resource to be used rather than a person to be valued, don't hesitate to establish firm boundaries or even step away entirely. Your life deserves to be surrounded by connections that offer joy, empathy, and sincere appreciation. Second, avoid people who frequently argue and expect you to take sides. Have you ever felt trapped in a relationship where every conversation seems to spiral into conflict? That's exactly what it feels like to deal with someone who constantly seeks out arguments. These individuals don't just stir up unnecessary drama, they also pull you into it, forcing you to choose a side in their personal battles. They bring turbulence into every interaction, draining not just their own energy, but also yours. I once had a friend who outwardly appeared confident, but whenever a disagreement came up, even over something small, he'd immediately escalate it into a full-blown argument. One time, during a casual gathering with friends while we were discussing travel plans, a minor difference of opinion arose. He suddenly turned to me and demanded that I back him up in front of everyone. That experience changed our friendship forever. I realized then that anyone who thrives on conflict and pressures others to align with them makes it impossible to maintain a peaceful or balanced relationship. Constant arguing doesn't indicate strength or intelligence. It's often a symptom of emotional immaturity and insecurity. People who argue for the sake of control or validation sabotage not only their relationships, but also their own personal development. A truly wise person doesn't feel the need to win every disagreement. They prioritize peace, understanding, and resolution. If you find yourself caught in endless cycles of conflict or regularly dragged into disputes that aren't yours to fight, take a moment to reflect. Cultivating calmness in your life protects your relationships and shields your inner peace. In the end, the most valuable treasures in life are not found in drama or debate, but in peaceful connections and a quiet, steady mind. Third, avoid people who dismiss or minimize the worries of others. In the journey of life, each of us carries our own distinct set of burdens, no two alike. The worries we bear, the joys we experience, and the sorrows we endure cannot be compared on any universal scale. Yet one of the most disheartening experiences in life is when we open up about our struggles, only to be met with people who not only downplay our pain, but also amplify their own as if theirs are more significant. This kind of reaction isn't just inconsiderate. It undermines trust and slowly eats away at the very foundation of any relationship. I remember a time when I shared with a longtime friend how overwhelmed I felt trying to balance work while caring for my aging parents. Rather than offering a moment of empathy or even a listening ear, he brushed aside my concerns and quickly shifted the conversation to talk about how stressed he was at work, as if my reality was invisible. That moment didn't just leave me disappointed, it left a deep emotional bruise. It taught me something crucial. Meaningful relationships can only thrive when both people make an effort to genuinely listen and value each other's challenges as much as they'd like their own to be acknowledged. True respect isn't found in grand, sweeping gestures. It lives in the smallest actions, thanking someone sincerely for their help or offering a heartfelt apology when you've caused pain. These simple words, when spoken with sincerity, go far beyond social niceties. They form the bedrock of strong and lasting human connections. It's important to step away from people who lack this kind of gratitude. If someone cannot celebrate your wins or empathize with your struggles, if they find amusement in your pain, that reveals not only a lack of compassion, but a deep, unsettling indifference. We may not have control over how others behave, but we do have control over who we allow into our inner circle. Choose relationships rooted in mutual respect, kindness, and sincerity. Keep company with those who rejoice in your happiness, comfort you in your grief, and genuinely wish you well. Taking joy in someone else's suffering doesn't just hurt them, it chips away at your own humanity. Living with empathy and compassion won't just help you build meaningful relationships, it will lead you to a life full of purpose and depth, a life truly worth living. Equally important is to steer clear of individuals who try to impose their religious or political beliefs on you. No two people are exactly the same, and that diversity is part of what makes human relationships so rich and meaningful. Real connection is not about forcing others to adopt your worldview, but about recognizing and appreciating differences while building common ground from them. Still, some people feel compelled to constantly push their beliefs on others, be it spiritual, ideological, or political. And this kind of behavior is not only draining, it can fracture relationships beyond repair. I once had a close friend who, with every conversation, felt the need to convince me that his way of life was the only right one. At first, I tried to engage in thoughtful discussions and defended my own beliefs, hoping for mutual understanding. But after each interaction, I found myself emotionally exhausted. Nothing changed. No progress was made. The debates became repetitive, more about ego than insight. And I eventually realized that these exchanges were only driving a wedge between us. Arguments rooted in the need to be right often do nothing but create distance and resentment. Even when you win such an argument, the sense of victory is fleeting and usually comes at the cost of another person's dignity. The most damaging consequence isn't the disagreement itself, but the subtle emotional wounds and the growing disconnect it causes. Truly wise individuals don't argue simply to be right. They listen, they empathize, and they understand when it's best to step back. Real success in a relationship isn't found in overpowering the other person's views. It's found in conquering your own pride to nurture mutual respect and harmony. Letting go of the need to always be right doesn't make you weak. It makes you peaceful. That's a reward no argument can ever give. If you've stayed with me this far, leave a comment below saying peacefulness, so I know you're on this journey with me. Together, let's keep learning, growing, and creating lives filled with meaning and emotional clarity. Finally, recognize when a friendship starts making you feel uneasy or drained. If being around someone consistently leaves you feeling distressed, it's time to reconsider that relationship. Sometimes the people who once brought you joy, laughter, and unforgettable memories begin to feel distant, not necessarily because you or they did something wrong, but simply because life has taken you both in different directions. Growth changes us. As we evolve, so do our interests, values, and perspectives. There was a story a colleague once shared about his childhood friend. They had spent countless cherished moments together, from going to the movies and playing sports to dreaming about their future. But over time, something shifted. Conversations began to feel forced. Meetings became more of a chore than a joy. What once flowed effortlessly now felt strained. That's not necessarily a tragedy. It's a natural part of life's rhythm. Not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some serve a beautiful purpose for a time and then quietly fade as we grow. Recognizing this isn't an act of betrayal. It's an act of self-respect. When a connection no longer brings peace, but instead brings anxiety or sadness, it's okay to let it go. Honor the good memories, but protect your present peace. Life is too short to keep holding on to relationships that no longer nourish your soul. I remember a story shared by a colleague. He spoke of a childhood friend, someone with whom he had created countless unforgettable memories. Going to the movies together, playing sports, and imagining the futures they would one day build. But as time went on, life pulled them in different directions. One moved away to a new city, building a career and starting a family, while the other remained in their hometown, living a quieter, simpler life. Whenever they managed to reconnect, it just didn't feel the same. Their conversations became awkward, filled with polite small talk and a subtle undercurrent of unfamiliarity. My colleague admitted that he initially put in a lot of effort to keep the friendship alive, but the more he tried, the more he began to see that they had changed so much that the closeness they once had was no longer there. Eventually, he chose to step back, not because he stopped caring, but because he realized that letting go was the only respectful way to acknowledge the changes both of them had gone through. Relationships, he said, are like a dance. Both people need to move in sync for the connection to feel right. When the rhythm falls out of harmony, both dancers feel uncomfortable and tired. Rather than placing blame on himself or his friend, he chose to accept what had changed. Sometimes, stepping back is the wisest and kindest choice. It doesn't mean erasing someone from your story. It means allowing space for both people to continue growing, even if it's apart. A gentle goodbye can often be more healing than trying to force a bond that no longer fits. Life is a constant state of change, and relationships reflect that too. The key lies in knowing when to hold on and when it's time to move forward. Treasure the beautiful moments you've shared, but don't be afraid to let that relationship become a cherished memory. Sometimes, letting go isn't just an act of compassion for someone else, it's a sign of self-respect. There's also wisdom in steering clear of those who endlessly complain about themselves. Have you ever felt like an emotional trash can, the kind of person others come to just to unload all their sadness, frustrations, and constant negativity? Everyone needs someone to lean on now and then. We all go through difficult seasons. But there's a big difference between sharing from a place of mutual empathy and simply dumping emotions without care. I once had a friend named Sarah, a former colleague who I was once very close to. During a time when my mother became critically ill, I was overwhelmed, juggling the demands of work while being her primary caregiver. It was one of the most emotionally and physically exhausting times in my life. Yet Sarah came to me almost daily, not to offer comfort or check in on me, but to complain. She went on and on about how much she hated her job, how her boss treated her poorly, how her husband never helped her at home. And, despite my own state of distress, she never once asked how I was holding up. I tried gently to shift the conversation and express some of what I was going through, but she always found a way to redirect things back to herself. Each time I interacted with her, I walked away feeling emotionally depleted, and at times even guilty that I couldn't be more available for her. The final straw came shortly after my mother had undergone major surgery. Sarah called me, not to ask how things went, but to complain that I hadn't replied to her messages quickly enough. That was the moment I realized something had to change. I told her honestly, "Sarah, I can't do this anymore. I have too much on my plate, and I need the people around me to understand that and offer some support." There was a long silence. After that, the distance between us grew naturally. It hurt, but I knew it was necessary to protect my own well-being. Not every complaint needs to be voiced to others, and no one should be treated as an emotional dumping ground. If someone isn't truly looking for support or resolution, but merely offloading their pain onto you, it's okay to set boundaries. Learn to listen with intention, not obligation. Make room in your life for people who see your heart, not just your ears. True connection is built on mutual care, and sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to stop expecting others to be more than they are and start being gentler with yourself. Another type of person to avoid is someone who treats promises casually or breaks them without a second thought. Have you ever waited for someone who never arrived, offering only a weak excuse or no explanation at all? That moment when you realize you're not a priority to someone stings deeply. A promise isn't just words. It's a sign of respect, trust, and commitment. What's truly painful is when someone not only fails to follow through, but also seems to forget,
they ever made a commitment in the first place. That kind of carelessness doesn't just chip away at trust. It makes you feel like an afterthought, as though your time and feelings don't matter. I remember a time when I was sitting at my favorite coffee shop, waiting for a friend we had planned to meet. At first, I assumed she was simply delayed by traffic or caught up with something urgent. But after waiting for an entire hour, I finally received a message from her. "Totally forgot we had plans today, sorry." That simple message hit harder than she might have realized. This wasn't the first time something like this had happened, and in that moment, I had to face the truth. Continuing to tolerate this behavior was only hurting me. I knew she wasn't intentionally trying to cause harm, but her lack of attention, her failure to honor her word, said more than any apology ever could. When a relationship starts feeling like a constant emotional weight, when respect and mutual commitment are no longer present, it's a sign that it's time to take a hard look at what that connection truly brings into your life. Self-respect sometimes requires letting go of relationships that no longer add value or nourishment to your well-being. Healthy relationships are not built on empty promises or casual indifference. Listen closely to your emotions. They often whisper the truth before your mind catches up. You deserve to be in relationships where your presence is appreciated, where both sides make the effort to uplift one another. If someone consistently fails to meet that standard, don't be afraid to walk away. Every time you say no to people who don't value or respect you, you're actually opening the door for healthier, more fulfilling relationships to enter. Never forget, you are not just worthy of love, but you are also entitled to respect, not just in words, but through genuine actions. Avoid people who always bring up the same worries. Have you ever noticed how, when some people express their concerns to you, it doesn't seem like they're really seeking a solution? Instead, they just want temporary comfort, a moment of relief from their own mental chaos. This isn't necessarily wrong. The need to share and feel understood is deeply human. But if you find yourself stuck in conversations with someone who keeps repeating the same complaints, never taking any steps toward change, or even brushing off your well-intentioned advice, then it may be time to consider what that pattern is doing to both of you. There was a time when I had a former colleague who often approached me just to vent about work. At first, I thought she simply needed a safe space to air out her frustrations, so I listened patiently and even went out of my way to offer clear, practical suggestions to help her make things better. But again and again, she dismissed the advice and circled right back to the same complaints in every single conversation. Over time, it became clear she wasn't truly interested in changing her situation. She only wanted someone to echo her worries, not challenge her to rise above them. Eventually, I took a different approach. I gently told her that I valued our connection, but I was starting to feel like we were stuck in an endless loop. I told her, "If you genuinely want to make things better, I'm here for you. But that first step has to come from you." She didn't respond well. Still, deep down, I knew I had done the right thing. Listening to others is a powerful expression of compassion. But when it's done without any movement toward resolution, it slowly depletes the emotional energy of everyone involved. If you truly care for someone, sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to speak truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Real friendships aren't built on surface-level comfort. They're grounded in honest support and mutual growth. Remember, kindness isn't just about being a soft shoulder. It's also about helping someone confront their own barriers, even when it means being firm. Avoid people who boast excessively. You've probably encountered someone who, no matter the topic, finds a way to steer the conversation back to their past accomplishments. They talk about their former successes like they're the only parts of their life that matter, as if those moments are their entire identity. At first, it may seem impressive, even inspiring, but over time, you begin to see through it. These stories aren't just tales of pride, they're often a shield, hiding an inner emptiness or a lack of purpose in the present. I once knew a man who never missed an opportunity to talk about the prestigious awards he had won years ago. He would repeat every detail of his achievements with so much flair. But when it came to discussing his current life, he would always dodge the conversation or change the subject. It became clear he was stuck in a time when he felt most valuable, clinging to his old glory as if it were the only thing keeping him afloat. What saddened me the most was that instead of inspiring admiration, his behavior started pushing people away. It's important to understand that constantly reliving past victories doesn't enhance how others see you. In fact, it can have the opposite effect, making those around you feel unseen or less significant. A person who is truly confident and content doesn't need to advertise their achievements. Their presence speaks for itself, grounded in the now, not shackled to the past. Let your present life, your actions, your attitude, your growth be the true reflection of your worth. Humility not only makes you more relatable, but also builds deeper, more authentic relationships based on mutual respect and real connection. As the old saying goes, silence is golden, and those who understand its power often turn out to be the ones most deeply respected. I'd love to hear about your journey, your victories, your struggles, and how you've grown through them. Please hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and leave a comment below. Share your story, your strength, or just write peacefulness to let us know you made it through this reflection. Your engagement is what keeps this community thriving, a place where we grow together, learn from one another, and discover the art of transforming every challenge into an opportunity. I've also linked 2 more videos here, so feel free to keep watching and stay on the path of personal growth and empowerment. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. We often go out of our way for the people we care about, sacrificing time, energy, and emotions just to show them how much they mean to us. We worry about them, support them, and sometimes give too much of ourselves. But unfortunately, there are moments when our kindness is taken for granted. Some people manipulate our good nature, pretending to be genuine while only looking out for their own interests. They appear kind and friendly when they want something, but once their needs are met, they vanish like a bird soaring off into the sky, leaving us behind, confused and hurt. So how do we take back our power after experiencing situations like these? That's what we're exploring today. We'll uncover 9 vital truths about the complex dynamics between men and women, grounded in the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These principles have withstood centuries, guiding countless individuals toward clarity and inner strength. By consciously avoiding these 9 behaviors, you'll start to see noticeable improvements in your relationships. Even more importantly, you'll find a renewed sense of personal empowerment. If you're going through a difficult phase in your relationship, now is the time to pause, clear your mind, and take this transformative journey with us. Let's begin with the idea of changing your life to fit someone else's. Picture trying to complete a puzzle where none of the pieces seem to belong together. It's frustrating and confusing. That's exactly what it feels like when you alter yourself to meet the expectations of others. As Seneca put it, Everywhere means nowhere. When you're constantly trying to be everything to everyone, you end up feeling lost, disconnected, and unsure of your path. Rather than blending into the background like a chameleon, embrace the boldness of being a shining star in the night sky. Own your individuality. Be proud of what sets you apart. Don't let others dictate the direction of your life. It's time to reclaim control and walk confidently in your own direction. Remember, your life is your own unique narrative, not a copy of someone else's. Let your authenticity be your light, and paint the world with your true essence and purpose. Next, don't let your world revolve entirely around one person. Obsessing over someone else can make you feel like a satellite stuck in orbit, always circling but never grounded. When your focus is consumed by another's life, you begin to lose sight of your own dreams and the qualities that make you who you are. Instead of feeding your ambitions, you end up attending to someone else's needs while neglecting your own desire for fulfillment. As the wise Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter retreat than in his own soul." When you immerse yourself too deeply in another person's life, you lose balance. You slip into the background, diminishing your self-worth. Break free from that gravitational pull. Stop orbiting their world. Don't let anyone compromise your mental well-being or steal your happiness. You are not a side character in someone else's script. You are the star of your own journey. Never forget that, and never allow anyone to dim your inner light. Equally important is this: don't sacrifice your mental health for someone else's happiness. Prioritizing another person's needs over your emotional well-being is like handing over your flashlight in the middle of a dark forest. You're left stumbling, confused, and alone. When you constantly put their happiness above your own, you're surrendering control of your inner peace. Instead of finding contentment, you end up caught in a cycle of self-neglect, always trying to please them while your own soul grows weary. It's vital to step back and reclaim ownership of your life. Your happiness and mental well-being are priceless, and they should never be handed over in exchange for fleeting moments of approval. You deserve to be the main character in your life story. Protect your inner sanctuary with unwavering resolve. Build resilience, and don't allow anyone to rob you of your joy. Your mind is yours alone, and only you have the power to shape your destiny. Another mistake we often make is distancing ourselves from friends and family for the sake of one person. Abandoning your support system because you're infatuated with someone else is like cutting the very branches that hold up your tree. Friends and family are those branches. They've been there through your struggles and victories. When you push them away, you're not just losing people, you're weakening the very foundation that supports you. As Plato wisely said, people can either help you grow and thrive or hinder your development and cause you to wither. Isolating yourself makes your journey much harder than it needs to be. Take the initiative to reconnect with those who truly care. These relationships are irreplaceable. They form a network of strength that anchors you. Embrace those who stood by you through both storms and sunshine. They are the ones who nourish your soul and help you stand tall. Lastly, don't pour all your precious time into someone who doesn't value it. Investing every waking moment into another person's endless demands is like throwing your most valuable resource, time, into a bottomless pit. Every second you devote excessively is a piece of your life that you can never get back. Time is your most limited and sacred gift. If you give it away carelessly, especially to someone who doesn't reciprocate or appreciate it, you end up empty, depleted, and drained. Instead of building something meaningful, you find yourself stuck in a loop of emotional exhaustion. Remember that your time is not just a clock ticking, it's the essence of your life. Spend it wisely. Give it to those who uplift you, who value your presence, and who contribute to your growth. Don't waste your hours chasing approval or affection from those who vanish once their needs are met. Your time is your power. Guard it, cherish it, and use it to build the life you truly deserve. When you devote yourself excessively to someone or something, you're surrendering a part of your life that you can never retrieve. Time is constantly slipping away. Don't squander it. Time is your most precious possession, not an infinite currency that can be exchanged on demand. As the wise Checker once observed, the problem isn't that life is too short, but that we waste much of it. By handing all your time to another person, you're giving away the most vibrant and meaningful moments of your existence. Remember, your time is solely yours. It does not belong to anyone else. Don't allow your entire life to revolve around others. Seek balance. Invest your time with care. Treat it like a rare treasure and pour it into efforts that ignite your passion, that nurture your personal growth, and that bring you genuine satisfaction. Always remember, you are the one who holds authority over your own time. Do not let it be wasted on someone who may never truly understand or value its worth. There is no need to reveal every detail of your past, especially the painful parts. Sharing your complete past with someone is like opening up the deepest chambers of your heart and soul. It means exposing every hidden struggle and challenge that helped shape who you are today. These intimate and difficult experiences are a sacred part of your personal journey. They are the trials that you alone have endured and conquered. You don't owe it to anyone to lay them all bare. Revealing everything could invite judgment or turn those moments into casual entertainment for others. Doing so not only makes you vulnerable to emotional harm, but also risks exploitation. Protect your story. Guard it. Only share what is necessary and meaningful. Preserve the essential pieces of your narrative with the same care you would give to a fragile treasure. This act of protection is what empowers you and reinforces your strength. Do not hand over your defenses to someone who might misuse them. Be wise and intentional about who you entrust with your life's history. It is yours alone. It's not meant to be offered up just to satisfy someone's fleeting curiosity. Your story deserves more reverence than that. Don't compromise yourself just to satisfy others. Agreeing to do things that don't resonate with you is a quiet betrayal of your own joy. It's like trading the passions that once lit up your soul for tasks or interests that leave you feeling empty. Marcus Aurelius once said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. When you are pushed to act in ways that oppose your authentic desires, it's natural to feel an unsettling discontent, as if you are drifting further and further from your true path. But it doesn't have to be this way. It's time to break free from the endless cycle of pleasing others. Instead of always saying yes, embrace the power and clarity that comes with saying no. Reclaim ownership of your time and your decisions. Life is not a performance where you must constantly earn the approval of others. It's about being real, about choosing authenticity. Stay true to who you are, even when it feels hard. Listen to your inner voice. If something feels off, have the courage to walk away. Your life is your own to shape. It is not just a background story in someone else's drama. You are the main character, the hero of your own tale.
Now is the time to step into that role fully and live by your own values, on your own terms. Do not allow fear of being alone to dictate your choices. When you make decisions out of fear, especially the fear of loneliness, it's like navigating through darkness without a guiding light. Fear, when left unchecked, can lead you down roads you were never meant to travel. But remember, being alone is not the same as being lonely. As Aristotle wisely pointed out, understanding yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Use your time alone as an opportunity to go deeper into your soul. Embrace your unique identity. Spend quality time with yourself. Learn to enjoy your own presence. Discover the inner riches that lie within you. The more connected you become with yourself, the more prepared you are for meaningful relationships. When you finally choose to share your life with someone, it won't be out of desperation. It will be because that person complements your joy and enhances your existence. Value yourself. Don't fall into the trap of letting fear rule your life. The journey of self-discovery must be lit by the flame of courage. Let that courage guide you toward a life filled with fulfillment and real, heartfelt connections. Don't forget to pause and celebrate the small victories. In the chaos of life, while trying to meet expectations and please others, we often overlook our own growth. Yet every step forward, no matter how tiny it may seem, deserves to be acknowledged. Picture your life as a long journey. With each step, you're getting closer to your dreams. Think about all the small triumphs along the way. They are like markers, proof of your strength, your resilience, and your determination. Epictetus wisely said to never rely on the admiration of others. So take a moment to acknowledge your own progress. Celebrate what you've achieved, no matter how insignificant it might appear to others. Appreciate the late nights, the hard work, the doubts you've conquered. Every single success, big or small, is a testament to your endurance and your growth. Embrace them, cherish them. Let these quiet victories remind you of how far you've come and how strong you truly are. It is not solely about reaching a final destination. It is about embracing every bend in the road, every success, and every stumble along the way. Let us raise a toast to the path we are on, finding joy not just in the outcomes, but in the moments, the lessons, and the beauty of the process itself. As we draw this part of our journey to a close today, take a moment to reflect on the incredible power that lies in your choices and the unmatched beauty of accepting and embodying your true self. You carry within you the strength and the wisdom to make decisions that align with your deepest truths, even when they diverge from what others expect of you. As life unfolds with its unpredictable twists and turns, keep your focus on cultivating inner virtues, wisdom to see clearly, courage to act rightly, justice to treat others fairly, and self-control to remain grounded. These are not mere ideals. They are the foundation of a life rich with purpose and fulfillment, far more rewarding than a life spent chasing outside approval. Always remember, you are free to shape your own path. Celebrate your individuality and write a life story that is rooted in your own principles and beliefs. There is no need to compromise your integrity or sacrifice your well-being for the sake of pleasing others. You have the ability and the right to take the reins of your life, to make choices that reflect the truth of who you are. The Stoics taught us that real freedom comes from within, from knowing that while we cannot control everything, we do control our thoughts and actions. So when you feel pressured to fit into someone else's mold, to surrender your time, or to reveal more of yourself than you're comfortable with, Remember that you have the right to choose a different path. You are under no obligation to live according to someone else's expectations. You have the right and the responsibility to carve out a path that reflects what truly matters to you. Now is the moment to shift direction. Choose to change. Commit to letting go of the habits and patterns that no longer serve you. Focus your energy on becoming the highest version of yourself, no matter what obstacles lie ahead. And if today's reflection has spoken to your soul, consider expressing your appreciation. Tap the like button, join our community, and subscribe so you can receive more content that challenges, uplifts, and inspires. Engage with us in the comments to share your insights and continue this important dialogue. Let's walk this path together, building a community grounded in introspection, courage, and personal evolution. Thank you for being part of this shared journey toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and a life of strength and resilience. Until we meet again, stay present, remain unshaken, and live with the steady mindset of the Stoics. Until next time, go forward with strength. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and particularly useful topic, especially for those entering advanced stages of life. We will explore the 13 things that you should avoid as you age, all from a Stoic perspective. The principles of Stoicism can help us live a fuller, more meaningful life, no matter our age. As we grow older, it's common to experience feelings of isolation and sadness. However, the Stoics believed that we can find peace and fulfillment by accepting what is beyond our control and focusing on our own actions and thoughts. In this video, we will examine 13 Stoic recommendations to help you maintain a calm mind and a positive spirit, even in the most difficult moments. Let's start with the first recommendation. Do not isolate yourself. As we age, it's easy to feel like we no longer fit in or that our social skills have diminished. This can lead to a temptation to isolate ourselves from the world around us. However, isolation can result in deep feelings of loneliness and even depression. It's not about being surrounded by people all the time, but rather about maintaining meaningful connections that nourish us emotionally. Why is it so important not to isolate yourself? Staying connected with others provides us with a sense of purpose and belonging. Engaging with friends, family, or even participating in community activities can give us a reason to get up each day. Additionally, sharing our experiences and listening to others offers new perspectives that can help us view our own lives differently. Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot control while taking action in areas where we have influence. One thing we can control is our decision to connect with others. If you feel lonely, consider joining a local group, taking a class, or simply calling a friend. Sometimes a small step can make a huge difference, so remember not to isolate yourself. Maintain those connections and find ways to engage with the world. Doing so will not only help you combat loneliness and depression, but will also enrich your life. Next, let's move on to the second recommendation. Do not obsess over the past. It's natural to reflect on our lives, our achievements, and our mistakes as we age. However, dwelling on the past can trap us emotionally, preventing us from fully embracing the present and looking forward to the future. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Roman emperors and a great Stoic philosopher, reminded us that a man's true worth is revealed during times of crisis.
This teaches us that it's not our past actions, whether they were successes or failures, that define us, but how we handle the present. The past is beyond our control, but the present is what we have the power to shape. Why is it so important not to dwell on the past? When we focus too much on what has already occurred, we risk missing out on the opportunities of today. We can fall into the trap of nostalgia or regret, both of which can lead to feelings of depression and anxiety. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to accept what has happened, learn from it, and move forward with wisdom and gratitude. Focusing on the present allows us to find joy in the simple pleasures of life, whether it's a conversation, a walk outside, or simply appreciating the gift of being alive. Every new day offers an opportunity to live according to our values, improve ourselves, and make a positive impact on others. So, the next time you catch yourself revisiting past moments, pause and take a deep breath. Remember, what truly matters is what you do in this very moment. Use the past as a lesson, not as a prison. Now let's consider the third recommendation. Do not neglect your health. As we age, it can be easy to think that self-care is no longer a priority. However, the opposite is true. Maintaining good physical and mental health is essential for living a fulfilling and happy life. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, reminded us that life, if well lived, is long enough. This serves as a reminder to make the most of the time we have, and an important part of that is taking care of our bodies and minds. It's not about trying to reverse the effects of aging, but rather ensuring that each day we live is as healthy and full as possible. Why is it so important not to neglect your health? Our physical and mental well-being directly affects our quality of life. Staying active, eating well, and caring for our minds through practices like meditation or reading can help us enjoy life more fully. Good health enables us to continue pursuing our passions, connecting with others, and experiencing all the richness that life has to offer. By prioritizing our health, we not only improve our own lives, but also increase our ability to contribute positively to the world around us. Taking care of our health plays a crucial role in fighting off feelings of depression and loneliness, while also helping us feel good physically. The way we treat our bodies and minds significantly influences our emotional well-being. Stoicism reminds us to stay mindful of our actions and to make the best of what we have. This applies to how we care for our physical and mental health. Engaging in regular physical activity, choosing nutritious foods, and taking time to relax and recharge not only boost our overall well-being, but also help us sustain a positive outlook on life. So, don't overlook your health. Make it a daily habit to prioritize your well-being. This practice won't just make you feel better, but it will also allow you to enjoy the people and passions that bring meaning to your life. Let's move on to the fourth essential mindset. Never stop learning. It's a common misconception that learning is reserved for the young. In truth, lifelong learning is essential for keeping the mind sharp and healthy at any age. Epictetus once said that there is only one path to happiness, and that is to stop worrying about things beyond our control. This wisdom applies perfectly to learning as well. Sometimes we convince ourselves that we're too old to learn something new, or that it's not worth the effort. However, what truly lies outside our control are things like other people's opinions or our internal doubts, not our ability to learn. Why is continued learning so important? It helps keep our minds engaged,
slowing down cognitive decline and keeping us mentally youthful. Acquiring new knowledge also provides a sense of accomplishment and purpose, both of which are vital in combating loneliness and depression. Whether it's picking up a new language, learning to play a musical instrument, or simply diving into a subject that fascinates you, every bit of learning opens new doors and deepens our connection to the world around us. Stoic philosophy urges us to take initiative and actively shape our lives. Learning something new each day, no matter how small, keeps our curiosity alive and reaffirms our commitment to living fully. Curiosity is like a spark that can light up even our darkest moments, giving us something to look forward to each day. So don't let the learning stop. Find something that excites you and immerse yourself in it. Not only will this keep your mind vibrant, but it will also provide you with a continual source of joy and fulfillment. Let's continue with the fifth perspective. Don't resist change. As we grow older, it's easy to fall into the habit of clinging to what's familiar and avoiding what's new or unfamiliar. Yet, change is an inevitable part of life, and learning to accept it can become a powerful source of personal growth and satisfaction. Marcus Aurelius said that change is the only constant. This insight highlights that change is natural and unceasing, and fighting it only leads to unnecessary frustration and pain. Instead, we should strive to adapt and see each change as an opportunity for growth and learning. Why is accepting change so important? Embracing change helps us maintain a positive and flexible attitude. When we resist it, we often shut ourselves off from new opportunities that could enrich our lives. Resistance also tends to create stress and anxiety, whereas acceptance brings calm and balance. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. Change often falls into that uncontrollable category, but our response to it is entirely within our power. Rather than viewing change as a threat, we can choose to see it as a doorway to self-renewal and a chance to discover new aspects of who we are. So don't fear change. Welcome new experiences and opportunities as they come. Doing so will not only make you more adaptable and resilient, but will also lead to a life that is richer and more diverse. Now let's reflect on the sixth vital truth. Don't underestimate the power of gratitude. As time passes, it's easy to become preoccupied with what we've lost or what we lack, forgetting to notice and appreciate the blessings that still surround us. Seneca wisely said that it's not the person who has little, but the one who desires more, who is truly poor. This statement reminds us that true wealth and happiness come not from accumulating more, but from valuing what we already have. Gratitude teaches us to focus on the positives and to cherish the small, everyday gifts life offers. Why is practicing gratitude so transformative? Gratitude has the power to shift our perspective and dramatically enhance our mental and emotional health. When we focus on what we're thankful for, we begin to counteract negative emotions like sadness and depression. Moreover, gratitude strengthens our connections with others, as we often feel thankful for the people in our lives. This feeling of appreciation can build deeper relationships and a greater sense of community and belonging. In essence, embracing gratitude helps us cultivate a mindset that recognizes the good in our lives, no matter our age or circumstances. It grounds us, lifts our spirits, and brings us back to what truly matters. So take time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. Let this simple yet powerful practice fill your life with peace, perspective,
and deeper joy. Stoicism encourages us to cherish these blessings without becoming overly attached to them, reminding us to appreciate rather than cling. This mindset teaches us to focus on what is within our control. Practicing gratitude regularly becomes a powerful tool for nurturing this attitude. Whether it's keeping a gratitude journal, expressing thankfulness to others, or simply taking a quiet moment each day to reflect on the good in our lives, this habit can significantly elevate our happiness and emotional well-being. Gratitude becomes a source of strength. So make it a daily practice and notice how it reshapes your outlook and brings deeper meaning to your life. Let go of grudges. That leads us to the 7th thing you should avoid as you grow older: holding on to resentment. Throughout life, conflicts and disagreements with others are inevitable. However, when we hold on to these grudges, we allow them to negatively impact our emotional and mental health. Epictetus once said, "If someone is able to provoke you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This quote serves as a reminder that resentment and lingering anger are often constructed in our own minds, and that gives us the power to release them. Clinging to grudges only breeds unnecessary stress and places a heavy emotional burden on us. It robs us of mental peace and often creates barriers to enjoying our relationships and life in general. Forgiveness doesn't mean we forget or excuse someone's harmful behavior. It means freeing ourselves from the toxic emotions that weigh us down. Stoicism teaches us to release what is outside our control, and this includes the actions and decisions of others. By choosing forgiveness and letting go of bitterness, we give ourselves the gift of peace, creating space to focus on what truly matters. Shedding these negative feelings allows us to live with greater lightness and joy. So don't let grudges linger. Practice forgiveness, not just for others, but for your own inner peace and emotional freedom. Don't stop setting goals. This brings us to the 8th important thing to avoid in later life: losing your sense of direction by giving up on having goals. Sometimes reaching a certain age can lead us to believe that we've already accomplished everything significant. Yet, continuing to set goals, regardless of their size, infuses life with meaning and keeps us moving forward. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This highlights the importance of staying mentally engaged and cultivating positive focus. And one of the best ways to do that is by having goals. Setting goals offers us a sense of purpose and keeps us motivated. It helps us stay active, connected, and involved in life. Goals give us something to strive toward and look forward to. And every goal we achieve, no matter how small, brings a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Stoicism teaches us to live with intention and make the most of each moment. Goals help us do just that by guiding our attention toward meaningful actions and making our time more constructive. These goals don't have to be grand. They can be as simple as learning a new skill, improving your health, or doing something kind for someone else. The key is to find something that excites you and gives you a reason to grow and learn. Having goals not only makes life richer, but also helps you maintain a proactive, positive attitude. So keep setting goals. Let them inspire you to keep moving forward with purpose and joy. Don't neglect your hobbies. And now we come to the 9th thing you should avoid doing as you grow older: abandoning the interests and activities you love. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our hobbies no longer matter, or that we don't have time for them. But staying engaged with the things that bring us joy is essential to our well-being. Seneca once said, "Leisure without books is the death and burial of a living man." This quote powerfully emphasizes the importance of staying mentally and emotionally stimulated through the things we're passionate about. Our hobbies give us a chance to unwind, express ourselves, and simply enjoy life. They're not just sources of entertainment, they're sources of meaning and joy. Participating in activities that we love helps us manage stress, boost our mental health, and stay connected with our sense of identity and purpose. Furthermore, hobbies provide valuable opportunities to socialize and build connections with others who share our interests. Stoicism reminds us to seek balance and harmony in our lives, and hobbies play a key role in that. They allow us to experience happiness in the present moment without being consumed by regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. Whether it's gardening, painting, reading, listening to music, or any other activity that speaks to your soul, it's vital to make time for it. Nurturing your passions helps you maintain a rich, vibrant life, no matter your age. Don't neglect your hobbies or the things that light up your spirit. Make it a priority to set aside time for the activities that genuinely make you happy and give you the space to express yourself freely. Doing this doesn't just add color and richness to your life, it also helps you maintain a balanced and positive outlook. Now, let's move on to the 10th important principle. Do not ignore your emotions, especially as you age. It's easy to fall into the belief that growing older means we should become more emotionally stoic, in the common sense of the word, which often implies suppressing our feelings and appearing strong at all times. But this is a misconception. True Stoicism doesn't ask us to bury our emotions. Instead, it invites us to understand them and respond to them in a constructive, thoughtful way. Epictetus taught that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of those events. This simple yet profound idea reminds us that our emotions are responses to how we perceive life's moments, not direct reactions to the moments themselves. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear, it only hides them temporarily. Over time, this emotional suppression can result in built-up stress, unease, and even internal chaos. That's why it's so crucial not to ignore how you feel. Recognizing and confronting your emotions is a fundamental step toward maintaining good mental and emotional health. It helps us process our inner world, learn from our experiences, and discover better ways to navigate life's challenges. On the other hand, denying or repressing emotions can lead to long-term health issues, both mentally and physically, such as anxiety or depression. Stoicism encourages us to become aware of our emotions, not to be ruled by them, but to manage them with wisdom and rationality. It means embracing our feelings as part of the human journey, while not letting them take the driver's seat. Our emotions, when acknowledged, become signals, valuable insights into our needs, our desires, and what truly matters to us. They guide us to make wiser, more informed decisions. So do not brush aside what you feel. Take the time to reflect on your emotions, explore why you feel the way you do, and give yourself the space to process it all. Whether by speaking with someone you trust or writing it out in a journal, give yourself that emotional outlet. It's not just healthy, it's essential. Now, let's move on to the 11th thing you should never do as you grow older. Do not settle for mediocrity. At a certain point in life, we may be tempted to believe that it's too late to aim higher, or that we no longer have the energy or motivation to pursue excellence. But the truth is,
Holding ourselves to a higher standard and striving for excellence is what makes life fulfilling and meaningful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is bearable, bear it and stop complaining." These words urge us to face challenges with resilience and a proactive attitude, rather than lowering our standards or giving up. Settling for mediocrity can become a dangerous habit. It breeds complacency and leaves us with an undercurrent of dissatisfaction that slowly erodes our sense of purpose. That's why it's vital not to lower your standards or stop reaching for more. Staying committed to excellence, even in small daily tasks, gives life a sense of direction and dignity. It reminds us that we are capable of growth, improvement, and rising above our own expectations. This doesn't mean you need to become a perfectionist. It simply means doing your best with what you have and refusing to become stagnant. Pursuing excellence in our efforts is also a deep source of confidence and self-worth. It teaches us to align our actions with our values and to seek virtue in all that we do. Refusing to accept mediocrity is a way of honoring yourself, of choosing to live with purpose rather than passivity. Whether it's your career, your relationships, or your everyday routines, always strive to bring your best self forward. Seek growth, welcome challenges, and aim to improve in whatever you commit to. Doing so will bring you a profound sense of accomplishment and allow you to live a life that feels meaningful and enriched. Now let's continue with the 12th and final insight. Do not stop cultivating your relationships. As time goes by, it can be easy to drift away from close connections, with friends, with family, with those who matter most. Yet maintaining and nurturing these relationships is vital for your emotional and mental well-being. The philosopher Seneca once said, "Friendship is always helpful, love is sometimes." This reflects how deeply valuable true friendships and human connections are. They are a consistent source of support, encouragement, and joy. In times of struggle, these relationships comfort us. In moments of happiness, they amplify our joy. Staying connected with others gives us a sense of belonging. It reminds us that we are not alone in this world and that we have a place in the lives of others. Social interaction, even in its simplest form, has the power to ease loneliness, reduce feelings of depression, and even improve our overall health. Sharing our experiences with those we care about deepens our emotional lives and offers perspectives that we might not see on our own. Stoicism teaches us to value others, to be mindful in our interactions, and to treat relationships with intention and care. Maintaining healthy relationships takes effort. It requires time, attention, and sometimes vulnerability. But the rewards are immeasurable. Investing in these bonds, whether it's by staying in touch, spending quality time together, or being a source of support, strengthens the emotional fabric of our lives. So, don't let your relationships wither away. Nurture them. Reach out. Be present. In doing so, you create a circle of connection and care that nourishes both you and those around you. Therefore, don't neglect the importance of nurturing your relationships. Take time to reach out to old friends, reinforce family bonds, and welcome new people into your life. These relationships will not only enhance the richness of your everyday experiences, but will also serve as a valuable source of support during life's difficult moments. Let's continue with the 13th thing you should avoid doing as you grow older. Don't let yourself be consumed by what others might think of you. As we advance in age, it can become all too easy to get caught in the habit of worrying about how we are perceived by others. Yet this constant concern can become a barrier that stops us from living freely and authentically. Epictetus reminds us that worrying about future events does not lessen tomorrow's burdens. It only drains us of the strength we need to handle today. Though that insight is often applied to general anxiety, it fits perfectly when thinking about our preoccupation with others' opinions. This kind of worry saps our energy and hinders our ability to be our genuine selves. It is essential to recognize why letting go of this concern matters. Living in constant fear of judgment or striving to meet someone else's expectations can pull us away from our true path. It can lead to deep dissatisfaction and regret over the life we could have lived had we stayed true to our own values and desires. By releasing the need for external validation, we can begin to concentrate on what genuinely fulfills us. We can live with greater presence and joy, guided by our own convictions. Stoic philosophy teaches us to give our energy to what we can control, and the thoughts and judgments of others are beyond that boundary. What we can govern is our own behavior, our responses, and the principles we choose to live by. Being honest with ourselves and aligning our actions with our inner values brings a deeper and more lasting sense of contentment than trying to win the approval of others ever could. So, don't let yourself be weighed down by what others might think. Live in a way that honors your own truth and beliefs. This will allow you to move through life with greater authenticity and to find more joy in every experience you encounter.